a high, deep drive into left field, and this ball is long gone. Safe, he got under the tag.
Will one hop the wall and it lands for a double.
Want to ride into deep left field, and this ball is gone. Falmouth is going to the Western Division Final.
Hello and welcome into the Falmouth Commodores pregame show. I'm Daniel LaRose, joined alongside David Korzenowski. We're up here in the Crow's Nest at Gov Fuller Field as the Commodores look to finish up their little two-game homestand. But David, game one didn't happen.
Yeah, it was a 7-2 lead for Falmouth in the bottom of the second inning, only one out, and the Commodores' bats were clicking yet again. They scored 15 runs the night before against Chatham, and they came out and didn't miss a beat. Zach DeLoach hit a home run. Barron Radcliffe was 2 for 2 with a double. But again, all of those stats washed away. Falmouth hoping that this day off, or a little bit extra pause, won't throw a wrench into their momentum.
My partner mentioned that Falmouth was leading 7-2 in that game against Bourne, but it will have to get remade on a doubleheader at a later date in later July. Today, they get to face off against the Brewster Whitecaps. And the last time Brewster was here, it was a very solid victory for Falmouth. They won 12-7. This will be the third meeting of the season between the Caps and the Doors, but a little good news happened, I guess, last night into this morning as the Cape Cod League All-Star Game rosters were announced, and there were 5 Commodores highlighted by 3 starters. Zach DeLoach, because of course, Hayden Cantrell, Trey Cruz, the 3 starters for the Doors, plus a couple of pitchers.
Yeah, the pitchers were Franco Aleman and Logan Hoffman. The 5 managers from the Western Division actually met in the press box about 10 feet to our left to decide those All-Stars. And a bunch of them were no-brainers, but The one that actually sticks out to me is Logan Hoffman, because I think he's been one of the unsung heroes on this team. A .87 ERA and a 2-0 record. He's been great.
He's been locked down out of the pen, but Arcady Florio is meeting up with Jeff Trundy to talk about all of his All-Stars, not just Logan Hoffman, but the entire crop of stars he has, and probably the rest of these 20 guys if I know Jeff Trundy at all. So, Katie, Coach Trundy, take it away. Thank you, guys. And now we'll look away from the All-Star game, which still is about 10 days away, and we'll look ahead towards this ball game. As I mentioned, Game 3 of this 4-game season series between Falmouth and Brewster. Falmouth with a chance to win the season series. They're so far 2-0 against the Whitecaps. As I mentioned, first game, the last time they played here, 12-7 blowout victory.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the turning points in the Commodores season, because it was July 2nd. They'd just come off a tough loss to the Orleans Firebirds, and then they went on a tear. They won 6 out of 7 games, starting with that thrashing of Brewster. And then they won another one against the Whitecaps out at Stony Brook Field. I'm also looking at Carmen Majinski tonight, a guy who's coming off of 10 strikeouts in his last start. perhaps an all-star snub as well to really be locked down tonight.
So, David, not going to ask you for a prediction, but I am going to, a win-loss prediction, I should say. But I'm going to ask you for a little bit of a prediction. Do you expect 12-7, same output, a lot of runs scored for both sides like we saw in Game 1 between these two teams? Or Game 2, where it was 4-3 final score after 8 innings, where it was a lot lower scoring and runs were kind of scored in bunches in singular innings, and then there were a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings around it?
I'm going to go with neither. I think that this is going to be a blowout for Falmouth. Wow. I know, big prediction, but Carmen Majinski has been such a good pitcher. I think arguably better than Franco Aleman. I think he's going to throw 5, maybe even 6 good innings tonight, and I think that they'll have guys like Logan Hoffman and Thomas Gerard come in relief. I think Brewster's going to put up maybe 1 or 2 runs, and I think Falmouth's bats, they keep rolling. I think a 5-plus run win for Falmouth tonight.
Falmouth put up 15 the other night. They were putting up 7 in only an inning and a third last night. They were on pace for 36. So who knows what can happen. But for now, we'll just go over towards first pitch. So for Katie Florio and David Korzenowski, I'm Danny LaRose saying so long. We'll see you in a bit. Hello and a pleasant good evening to you here from us two in the Falmouth Commodores broadcast booth here at Gov Fuller Field. Danny LaRose, David Korzenowski, happy Saturday. Glad that you're spending it with us for this matchup between the Falmouth Commodores and the Brewster Whitecaps. Brewster coming to Falmouth for the second and final time in 2019. This will be the third time these two teams face off, and so far Falmouth has gotten the best of Brewster 2 times around, thanks to very different games, David.
Yeah, the first game between these two teams was on July 2nd, and as I remarked in the pregame show, I thought that was really the turning point in this season. The bats exploded at a time when they really weren't hitting very well, and then they kept it rolling, winning 6 of their next 7. Then they go back out to Brewster in about a week later and win 4-3. They claw back down 3-0 in that game. Matt Mikulski, the starting pitcher for Brewster, was outstanding, and you hit on how different those games were. 12-7 game 1, 4-3 game 2. An offensive explosion in the first, and then in the second one, it was really tough to come by. The starting pitchers were outstanding.
Well, these two teams coming off of different games in their previous outings as well. Falmouth yesterday had their game washed out in the second inning. They were leading 7-2, but their last official game, a 15-6 win over the Chatham Anglers. And meanwhile, Brewster coming off of a heartbreaking loss last night against the Wareham Gatemen. They were ahead 5-0, ended up losing 6-5 after 9 innings. So kind of 2 different tracks that these two teams are on. Brewster 4-6 in their last 10. Falmouth, they're 7-3.
Yeah, they did look good against Wareham last night, but they just kind of fell apart late. Their bullpen struggled, and then in the bottom of the 9th inning, the winning run scored on a throwing error from the pitcher. So that's a tough way to lose, but they try to bounce back against the Doors tonight.
So the Doors are taking the field, and Brewster will look to bounce back with the following lineup. They're led off by Duke Ellis. He's playing center field. Then Brett Auerbach, the catcher. Gage Workman, who was named a All-Star, will be batting third and playing short. Mason Dodd will be batting cleanup at first base, recent addition to this Brewster lineup. Tyler Gentry is in right field batting fifth. Tyler Hardman at the hot corner batting sixth, another All-Star. Jesse Franklin will be playing left field. He's batting seventh, another recent addition. He's from the University of Michigan, so was in Omaha just a couple weeks ago. Christian Molfetta will be batting eighth and designated hitting, and Marcos Castanon will be batting ninth, playing second base, up against Carmen Majinski, the man warming up on the hill right now. Majinski has been brilliant so far on his summer, 3.14 ERA. Still has yet to get a decision. Maybe has factored into the reason why he has been left out of the All-Star game.
Yeah, tough draw for Carmen Majinski this morning, as the Western League managers for each of those 5 teams met here in the same press box where we're at right now and decided the All-Stars. I think Carmen Majinski is an All-Star. He is in my book. He's got 24 Ks in 14 1/3 innings of work, just 3 walks. I mean, his command is outstanding. He did get hit hard against Harwich just once. He gave up 1 long bomb to another All-Star, Nico Cavadas. It wasn't like those were any real mistakes made by Carmen Majinski, but again, that 3.14 ERA, trying to lower that tonight.
And I think what's most impressive about Carmen is that strikeout number, the 24 strikeouts to 3 walks, the fact that he's had 5+ strikeouts, 7+ strikeouts, I should say, in every single outing, and he has not gone farther than 5 innings. That's more than a strikeout per inning pace, and he had double-digit strikeouts through only 5 his last time against Harwich.
I mean, he's close to a 2-to-1 as far he's close to averaging 2 strikeouts every inning of work. That's insane, especially against some of the best hitters in college baseball. I think we're going to see another high strikeout output tonight from Majinski.
So the rising junior from the University of South Carolina's foe is going to be Connor Shamblin on the other end of things. But we'll get to Shamblin next half inning once he's on the hill. As for now, Majinski looking to be, as he has been all summer long, keep Brewster down and quiet for the most part. He'll have to get through Duke Ellis, who's leading off, the center fielder from the University of Texas. Ellis, a rising senior from Nacogdoches. Did you know how to pronounce that?
I did not.
That's where Stephen F. Austin is
Okay.
located. That's where that school is. Nacogdoches, Texas, stands at 6'2", 175, and he will step into that left-handed batter's box and get us underway here on Disney-themed night at Gov Fuller Field. The first pitch at 6:03 p.m., a fastball that comes way inside. Good news about tonight.
What's that?
First pitch, clear skies. Yesterday, it was clear skies when we all were getting here around 3 or 4 o'clock, and then all of a sudden, first pitch, it was very dark, and the rain came in the second. Ball misses in quickly, 2-0.
Ellis has been pretty solid this summer. Just a .214 average. He's only played in 6 games. Tonight is number 7, a later addition from the University of Texas.
The 2-0 misses upstairs, so Ellis has quickly watched 3 balls miss all way out of the strike zone, and Majinski looking to settle back in.
This is uncommon. Ellis draws a decent amount of walks. He's walked 3 times this summer, but Majinski, the opposite.
Carmen has only walked 3 batters, and he won't walk a batter on that pitch. Defensive alignment for the Commodores, outfield from left to right, Maisel, followed by Dunn, then Deloach. Infield, Moretto at third, Cruz at short, Cantrell at second, Claunch at first. Catching behind the plate is Matt Nelson as he squeezes that fastball that was blown past Ellis.
Majinski settling back in now. He's got such zip on that fastball, and it moves as well.
Here's the payoff pitch. Goes to the breaking ball and gets a swinging strike 3. Falls behind Ellis 3-0, but comes back with a couple great heaters and a magnificent slider to get his first strikeout of, I'm sure, many on the ballgame.
Well, his last time out on the mound, Danny, was his best. 10 strikeouts against Harwich in what was a walk-off 10-inning game for the Commodores. His first time through the order, he was perfect, and he struck out every other batter.
Bunt laid down by Brett Auerbach. That one's perfectly up the third base line. Moretto's going to watch it stay on the infield grass. You could not execute a bunt more perfectly than Brett Auerbach just did as he's on base with a hit.
Hey, get him any way you can, especially early. Auerbach knew the scouting report on Majinski, how tough to hit he is, how he tries to get swings and misses. So he says, all right, I got some speed at the 2 spot. And he lays down a perfect bunt. The fact that it stayed on the grass is what prevented it from leaking foul. Great bunt by Auerbach.
Moretto might have had a chance, but he didn't want to risk it. And not much you can do when you're the third baseman on that play, as there's a first pitch breaking ball in for a strike to Gage Workman, the shortstop for Brewster. Workman, like Auerbach, both of them all-stars. Although Gage is only batting .256 on the summer. Here's the 0-1. Lines it foul.
7 all-stars for the Whitecaps, 5 for Falmouth. We see 4 in the starting lineup for Brewster tonight in Auerbach, Hardiman, Gage Workman, and Tyler Gentry.
None of those guys hitting over 300, but they do hit a lot of extra base hits. That's the one common denominator I saw. Here's the pitch. It misses just outside. Good one from Majinski, but a better eye by Workman.
Yeah, he was just trying to get a swinging third strike on that throwaway pitch. That's something Majinski does so well, is he gets up in counts, so then he can kind of fool around with the batters.
Gage working on a 4-game hitting streak. We'll have to wait for the 1-2 as it's thrown over towards first base. Troy Claunch inserted back at first, as we mentioned, as he's now gotten a couple reps there, switching it off with a whole host of guys. Thought we would see the same lineup that we did last night, but decided to change things up. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Reared back and fired a 91-mile-an-hour fastball right past Workman's swing, and that is now 2 swinging strikeouts in only the first inning.
Par for the course for Majinski. First 3 batters he faces, 2 strikeouts. Unbelievable.
Here comes Mason Dodd, who's batting cleanup, and this is only his 4th game played on the summer. His first game was July 10th versus Yarmouth Dennis, so he was not even a thought the last time these two teams faced off. Rising senior from Belmont Abbey College, Majinski steps off the mound, but it is immediately called a balk by just about everybody in the ballpark. Auerbach was dancing on the base enough that he was able to get Majinski to jitter.
First balk we've seen this summer in a Commodores game. Uncommon, as these guys are usually so polished. But maybe a little mind games from Auerbach. He moves into scoring position.
I think we did see Hayden Cantrell force a balk from somebody real early in the season. But no Commodores pitcher, definitely. First pitch is a strike to Dodd. Dodd playing first base for Brewster. At Belmont Abbey this past year, he batted .313 with 15 home runs and 64 RBIs. A true power hitter who was immediately inserted into that cleanups position for obvious reasons.
Yeah, and power is sort of his MO. He was a transfer from Lander University, spent 3 years there, but preserved a year of eligibility by barely playing in 2018.
Here's the 0-1. Swings at it and fists it foul, as Matt Nelson will touch up to make sure everything is put. And it's 0-2 now. Majinski looking to make it 3 strikeouts on the inning and work around a 1-out single, followed up by a balk. If he can leave Auerbach stranded on second, he would be a victor in this inning. Auerbach with a little bit of speed despite being a catcher. We saw that when he laid down a bunt for a hit. Only guys confident in their wheels can do that. Here's the 0-2. Ground ball right side. Cantrell can't get there on his forehand. It's scooped up by Zach Deloach. He's going to throw home. The throw into the plate, not in time. Brett Auerbach slides just ahead of the spin tag from Matt Nelson. And 2 singles on the inning bring home a run for Brewster.
Now batting, the right fielder from the University.
Couple tough breaks for Majinski so far in this inning, Danny. A couple singles, but really neither of them too hard hit. Auerbach's was obviously a bunt up the third baseline, so he gets on base with some small ball. And then Dodds, it was off of the glove of Cantrell. Would have been a tough play, but one that Cantrell knows that he wishes he had.
Also got to consider the bulk in between. That's the reason
Yeah,
that there was a runner on second base. First pitch comes in for a strike to Tyler Gentry.
This is not unfamiliar territory for the Commodores, though. They fell behind in both of their games to Brewster. Ended up coming back and winning both.
Pickoff move over to first, nothing doing. And I know that last night doesn't really count as a game played, but Falmouth did fall behind in that game 2-0 and put up a 4 spot in the next half inning. They have come back in plenty of ball games. The 0-1 to the Alabama right fielder is swung on and missed. Gentry, a teammate of Tyler Ross's, also a teammate of his starting pitcher Connor Shamblin. He plays his baseball with the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, Alabama's starting to build up a pretty solid program down there in Tuscaloosa.
Majinski, who knows them pretty well from South Carolina, fires the 0-2, and he gets it on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Late call by home plate umpire Ryan Damari, but a strikeout nonetheless. All 3 outs on this half inning are strikeouts, but Brewster does tap him for 2 hits and a run. As we head to the bottom of the first inning, it's 1-0 in favor of the Whitecaps.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field. On your screen, you can see the lineup for the Falmouth Commodores, 1 through 4, as consistent as ever. But again, like I mentioned last half inning, some changes down below, especially from last night when in an inning and a third they scored 7 runs.
Yeah, and I look at those bottom 3 guys, and Matt Nelson, Steven Moretto, and Austin Maisel. They're not starting every night, and there's some guys who are struggling at the plate. I think that this is an opportunity for them to really get going offensively as the rest of the team is. We saw Radcliffe in that bottom third for a while before he finally started to heat up. Nelson, Moretto, and Maisel trying to do the same.
They'll be going up against the right-hander from the University of Alabama, Connor Shamblin. Shamblin on the summer, 0-1, 3.46 ERA, 13 innings of work. Biggest problem for him, that walk number. 18 walks over 13 innings, only 12 strikeouts. This will be his 4th start and his 6th appearance. He has not thrown more than 4 innings.
We saw a similar story from Colby Dunlop, the starter for Bourne last night. It was only his 4th start. He was a guy who didn't go too late into games.
First pitch thrown to Hayden Cantrell is tapped up the first base line. That's an easy 3 unassisted on your scorecard after it's fielded by Mason Dodd. 1 up and 1 down.
We know Cantrell likes to swing at the first pitch. Didn't get as hard a contact as he wanted on that. A little bit on top of it.
When Cantrell's not on the base paths, usually not a good inning for the Commodores, but we'll see if they can bounce back after the first pitch is grounded out. Blake Dunn will be the hitter. He shows bunt, does not put it down, and takes a strike.
Yeah, interesting. We almost saw the same sort of thing that Brett Auerbach did in the 2 spot.
Dunn, a righty from Western Michigan, watches the 0-1 miss way outside. He's a guy who plays a lot like a leadoff hitter, a lot of speed, leads the team in walks, can get on base that way pretty proficiently. However, he hasn't walked in 3 straight games. He won't walk here. He flares one out to right field, and that one will hang up long enough for Gentry to come down with it. 2 up, 2 down.
The right fielder from Texas A&M, number 9.
Well, Shamblin doing a really good job right now throwing strikes, and the Commodores helping him out by swinging at some early pitches.
Yeah, not a lot of pitches thrown, only 4, and 2 outs have been recorded. Now Zach DeLoach will try to break up that script, and he is quite the guy to do it. A 420 average and only 69 at-bats on the summer after yesterday's 2 at-bats got canceled, but he even improved on it yesterday when he went 1 for 2 with a home run.
And it was another blast over the field in right center. Would have moved him to tied for 2nd in the Cape League in home runs. He has 4 right now.
He does lead the Cape in average at 420, and he is miles ahead of 2nd place. As that one hits him right on the hip, it looks like. Throws the bat over towards the dugout and will take his base. So it's not a hit, but he is on base with 2 outs.
Zach DeLoach's family in town this weekend as well.
Saw a lot of cheers for him.
Oh, yeah. Mom, dad, brother, and grandparents, if I counted correctly.
They can cheer him now on the base paths, and Trey Cruz will be at the plate, trying to make something happen with 2 outs in this first inning. The pitch from Shamblin, cut on and missed, strike number 1 to the switch hitter batting from the left side.
It was a dirty pitch from Shamblin right down the middle, but really slow off speed, coming in at just 77 miles an hour.
Shamblin coming off of a year where he had a 6.26 ERA at Alabama. That pitch misses just off the outside corner. Didn't have a lot of walks, 17 walks over 23 innings of work, but all of a sudden the summer comes around and he has been really bit by that bug. Here's the 1-1 to Trey. Beautiful pitch on the outside part of the plate, strike 2.
And I think that a lot of that is due to his inexperience. He's only a rising sophomore. He's a guy who then comes to the Cape League and is all of a sudden facing rising juniors and seniors, some of the best hitters in the country. He might be trying to place his pitches a little bit too perfectly.
He's placing them well right now, save the 1-2 DeLoach. The The 1-2, Deloach is running. Cruz blasts it into right center field, and that one is going to be dropped out in center. Duke Ellis couldn't come up with it, and he is writhing in pain. Rounding third and scoring without a throw is Deloach, but Ellis couldn't even get up and field that ball after it ricocheted off of him. Looks like he went down with a slight injury.
So before we talk about Ellis and sort of that approach defensively, Trey Cruz is staying red hot at the plate. 3 straight 2-hit games for the man who's playing shortstop tonight. We've seen him at third base a little as well. And no question, Brett Becker waving Deloach around as he had a full head of steam going on contact with 2 outs. But I do want to talk about that defensive approach from Ellis. It was really a tough play to make. He tried to do the slide where he brought, I think, one of his right leg back, and I don't know if it was something on the fall that made it a little bit of a awkward landing.
He is up and under his own power right now as the Brewster trainers are talking to him. I think he rolled his ankle. That's what I think he did. I think he'll be okay. He looks okay right now, just a little gimpy on it. But the way he slid just kind of looked like he rolled over his right ankle. I thought he was going to go for a full extension dive, and we were going to see a web gem out there. On first contact, looked like Cruz was going to hit it off the wall, and it was going to be an easy double. Instead, things got a little dicey. Ellis nearly made a fantastic play, couldn't come down with it, and then Gentry was far enough away in right field that he couldn't get to it in time, so Deloach scored easily from first before Gentry had even gathered the baseball. Duke taking some practice jogs right now to try to get some stress away from that muscle. Cruz stands on second as the game is now tied up at 1 apiece, and Troy Claunch is stepping up to the plate, ready to take his hacks if Ellis is all set and good, and he is. He'll be staying in the ball game. The Brewster trainers jogging back out towards their dugout, and we're just about to get back underway. Troy Claunch from Oregon State. If you haven't checked out the article on Troy Claunch that our own Max Trink wrote, you gotta take a look at it. It's over on our website, the Commodores Corner. That's our blog, and he wrote all about how Claunch had to play behind Adley Rutschman for a couple of years and the lessons he's learned from that and what he's brought to the Cape. And he's been a valuable addition to this Falmouth roster, specifically the fact that he can play first base and catcher, which we know Falmouth needs a first baseman, not having a true first baseman on the squad. Here's the first pitch he sees from Shamblin, takes a big hack at a pitch right down Broadway, and he misses it.
Claunch with 1 double and 1 home run this summer. The 1 long bomb came against the Whitecaps. That was a 3-run bomb that tied the game out in Brewster.
The 0-1 just misses the outside edge. Thought it had it, but no dice, says home plate umpire Ryan Damari. Over at first base is Doug Isham. Third base, Rich Gaetani on this Saturday evening here in Falmouth. Cruz stands on second. He's got plenty of speed, and he's taking a big lead. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball that misses a little too far outside, and Claunch gets ahead of the count.
Shamblin's delivery isn't so smooth. He kind of falls off the mound every time he reaches that landing spot.
Part of the reason why a lot of his pitches miss outside to righties. He's fallen towards that first base side. That one stays inside and upstairs on Claunch, really ties him up. Now it's 2-2. Almost what I'm seeing from Shamblin is one pitch he'll, miss by a lot, and another pitch he'll absolutely place it perfectly.
Yeah, just a little inconsistent right now.
Just looking for one more strike to get out of this inning and keep the game tied. The 2-2. Just outside.
It's a good take from Claunch. It's exactly where Franklin wanted it. Auerbach was setting up outside. He wanted to get a swing.
Troy only 2 for his last 10. 4 strikeouts in that frame as well. Trying to avoid the K right here, get on base in any way he can. The payoff pitch. Ground ball right back at Shamblin as he is positioned perfectly, falling towards the first base side to catch it and flip it over towards first base. That will do it on this inning, but The Falmouth Commodores do tie the game, scoring 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. To the top of the second inning we go, tied up at 1.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Top 2 we go from Gov Fuller Field. Danny LaRose, David Korzanowski here on the call on this Saturday night. 1-1 ball game after a couple of hits and a run scored for Brewster, sandwiched around 3 strikeouts. Meanwhile, Falmouth responded with a hit of their own, scoring Zach DeLoach, who was hit by a pitch in the first. So both teams going tit for tat after 1 inning of work. David, you know what I just noticed?
What's that?
Last game that Carmen Baczynski pitched, every other batter was a strikeout. So far, so good in this game, too.
Little bit of a different story, as he did allow a run while striking out every other batter. Against Harwich, he had not allowed a run his first time through the order. It was the second time when he faced Nico Cavadas, the cleanup man for Harwich, that he was tagged for a 2-run bomb.
First pitch he throws to Hardman comes way inside. Carmen has never been a major strikeout pitcher in his 2 years with the Gamecocks. Had less than a strikeout per inning pace as a freshman. As a sophomore, had just about a strikeout per inning, 11 strikeouts over his 10 2/3 in an injury-shortened season. 1-0 to Hardman, taken down and in. And the Cape League All-Star wearing number 42 is in a friendly hitter's count.
He's got a 3-game hit streak as well, swinging a really good bat lately. Maybe part of the reason he was selected as an All-Star.
The 2-0 is popped up into shallow right field. Cantrell is back. He's called off by DeLoach. And Zach will make the grab for out number 1.
Friendly placement on that pop fly as there's just one shadow out in right field, and it's the light.
Yeah. Just noticed
It's
that.
the light that extends from the Brewster bullpen on the left side of this field, and it casts a long shadow as that sun is setting to our left. And the ball was literally hit right there. So DeLoach, who's got the sun in his eyes, gets a little bit of help on that fly ball.
Righty-lefty matchup now as Jesse Franklin will make his first appearance against the Commodores on the summer. First pitch to the left fielder is taken outside as Nelson couldn't squeeze it. Franklin, we mentioned that he was in Omaha a couple weeks ago because he was playing with the Michigan Wolverines. They went to 3 games against Vanderbilt in the final series. Could not come away with a victory and lost to the eventual national champions.
Yeah, they won game 1, though.
Yeah, they were so close.
Kumar Rocker shut down in game 2. He was unbelievable.
Yeah. He was supposed to be on Orleans this summer.
Right.
But he was shut down pretty quickly. 1-1 is taken outside by Franklin, who got to the Cape pretty quickly. He was here on July 9th for his first game.
Yeah, he's got hits in 3 of his 4 games played this summer.
2-1 the count to the rising junior, originally from Seattle. The pitch, lofted out towards left field, but that one's going to go way foul.
So, you want to know my initial reaction when I was watching Kumar Rocker in the NCAA tournament this year?
What was it?
So I understand the eligibility rule, right? You either sign out of high school or you go after 3 years. But I want to see Kumar Rocker in the MLB, like now. And he still has 2 more years.
He's like a Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Where it was like, can we just put him in the NFL already? 2-2 is swung on and missed. Franklin, no dice against Carmen Baczynski in his first at-bat against Falmouth, as Carmen now has 4 Ks through an inning and 2/3.
And again, every other batter.
Yeah.
He's keeping the pace. He's just so good. I mean, this is why, again, tagged for that run early because of the bunt and then the ground ball to the right side past Hayden Cantrell. Again, it was a hit, was not an error. Would have been a really tough play for Cantrell to make, but Baczynski's just been so solid, so consistent.
First pitch to Christian Malfetta is a breaking ball right down the middle for strike 1.
And you got to think, too, that maybe he's working on getting that stamina up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's gone 5 innings his last 2 times out, 4 1/3 in his debut. Maybe trying to work up to 6 innings?
0-1 is tapped foul, and I would say that, I mean, that's what he's got to be working for, coming off of a season where he only threw 10 2/3 because of injury. And then that first game where he went 5 innings against Orleans, it was no-hit baseball. But
Right.
he pretty much told Jeff Trundy, like, yeah, you got to take me out. My arm's kind of tired. I'm not used to pitching this much.
Right.
He's gotten used to it since. Trying to work a 1-2-3 inning. The 0-2. Grounded right back towards the pitcher, and there is Carmen to field it and underhand toss over to Claunch. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Baczynski and the Commodores, and to the bottom of the second we go, tied up at 1.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
Barron Radcliffe will lead off the home second as the Commodores looking to take their first lead of the ball game. Fell behind 1-0, tied it up 1-1 after a 1-2-3 inning worked by Baczynski. They're looking to capitalize on Shamblin once again. Barron Radcliffe has been red hot recently. Continued that in yesterday's rain-shortened game. Was 2 for 2 to start off with a double and a couple RBIs. Swings at the first pitch he sees, bounces it up the first base line. That one is called foul. Looked like it hit the white chalk to me just behind the bag, but Barron will take it. He would have been an easy out.
I thought so, too. Thought I hit the right side of that field. Excuse me, the line down towards right field.
Barron officially batting .216 on the summer. The pitch swung on and missed. It was a fastball at 89. Radcliffe's average on July 8th was 138. Now it's .216 like I mentioned, so he has really been surging through the ranks.
Yeah, he upped that average 60 points with his performance against Chatham.
8 RBIs a couple of nights ago, thanks to a couple home runs in that bandbox of a ballpark out east. Here's the 1-2 from Shamblin. A lot of movement on the breaking ball, but he keeps it high. Looked like a wiffle ball that he was throwing, but he couldn't find the strike zone. Here's the 2-2. Downstairs for ball 3. How about that for Radcliffe? Falls behind 0-2 and works the count full.
Yeah, he does a really good job watching a lot of pitches. Sometimes it works to his detriment because he falls behind, but here it's helping him out.
Payoff pitch, cut on and missed, strike 3. Went with a fastball and got it at around 91, 92, and Radcliffe couldn't catch up.
So he was 2 for 2 last night when he was up at the plate. Again, those stats wiped. He had a double and a single. It's the first time he has come up a strikeout victim in quite some time. Again, a 3 for 5 night against Chatham with 8 RBIs. Unbelievable.
Matt Nelson is now going to step up to the plate. He's had a rough summer to start off, only 1 hit. First pitch he sees is a breaking ball that dives over the outside corner of the plate. Nelson yesterday had only 1 at bat. It was a sacrifice fly. We'll see if he can get similar results in this ball game, see if he can buck the trend that he's been on.
And again, I think these next 3 guys, Nelson, Moretto, and Maisel, are some batters that maybe aren't having the same offensive success the rest of the team is.
Shamblin's 0-2 is a fastball that misses up and away. Yeah, Nelson definitely, I mean, he's still kind of adjusting to the Cape. He's only had 14 registered at-bats. That's very, very low compared to the rest of the squad. 1-2 is clubbed up high into left field, going foul. Hardman calls for it, and the third baseman will make the grab in foul ground. Nelson is retired.
Now batting, the third baseman from Sacramento State.
Saw a little bit more of that pop off the bat from Nelson, and the Commodores want to see more of it and have him straighten it out. He has some power, because at FSU he had 7 doubles and 6 home runs this past year during his freshman season.
We haven't seen that so far. He only has a single, and now he's been put out 14 other times. So 2 up, 2 down in the second. Steven Moretto swings the first pitch and fouls it away. Back in the first, it was 2 up, 2 down on only 4 pitches, and then the next 2 batters got on base with a hit by pitch and a double, which was good enough to tie the ball game. The Doors looking for that same magic, but from the bottom of the lineup. Moretto starting at third base today, swings and misses at that pitch, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes.
Moretto 0 for his last 7, 1 for his last 12. He's had that average below 200 for a majority of the season.
0-2. Down and away, good eye.
Against Katuitt, his last start, 0 for 3 with 3 Ks.
Working with a 170 batting average, and it will go lower as he swings and misses at the middle-high fastball. 1-2-3 inning worked by Connor Shamblin as he and Carmen Bajinski match each other on the scorecard so far. We'll go to the top of the third inning, still tied up at 1 on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonials and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Redshirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
To the top of the third we go. Marcos Castanen is going to be the hitter. 9-1 and 2 for Brewster in the third. Castanen, last time here at Falmouth, had a big home run in the first inning. 3-run home run off of Chris Gonzalez. Second time playing Falmouth, he went 0 for 4. We'll see what Castanen we get today as he watches a first pitch strike light up the outside part of the zone.
And when he hit that 3-run blast against the Commodores, it felt like the Doors might be in for a long night.
Yeah.
Chris Gonzalez was on the mound. It was a team that had struggled so much offensively.
They were able to rebound, I think.
They were. Yeah, they scored 12 unanswered, went up 12-3, and then the score made it look a lot closer than it was. But that was a dominating win for Falmouth.
It started off their really hot stretch in July, as that's ball number 2 taken outside, where they went on to win, 7 of their next 8, I believe. Two 2-0 so far against Brewster. Here's the 2-1 from Carmen. Breaking ball beautifully over the middle part of the plate.
Just the difference between his fastball and off speed can be so rattling for a batter. I don't know what other word to use, but fastball's got some running action. It moves a little bit side to side, and it can paint the corners, and that off speed just flutters as it comes over the plate.
Here's the pitch, another off speed that's popped up into center field. This one's going to fall into no man's land if Cantrell can't get there. He's called off by Blake Dunn, though, taking a nosedive to avoid the hurdling Bronco from Western Michigan. And it is a crazy out number 1.
Now batting, the center fielder from the
That's a good play because the Commodores were letting those drop earlier in the year. We saw a handful over to the left side with shortstop, center, and left field having trouble communicating, but much better, and you can see how the team really has gelled defensively as well.
So Castanon retired on a wacky fly ball. Now Duke Ellis, who is a swinging strikeout victim, his first time up, will have his second chance against Majinski as he watches this one run way inside. For whatever reason, early in the count against Duke Ellis, Carmen Majinski has been all over the place. He fell behind 3-0 the first time he faced Ellis and worked himself back into a strikeout. That 1-0 is slapped over towards short. Trey Cruz fields it, throws on to first, and the speedy Ellis is retired on a 6-3 putout.
Can't believe we missed it, Danny, but on the Castanen fly ball, that broke up the trend of every other batter striking out.
Oh, we've been so on top of that all summer long.
Now batting,
But now,
from the University of Alabama.
Majinski getting into another streak that he wants to keep going. He's retired 6 in a row.
6 in a row ever since Mason Dodd's single that brought home a run way back in the first inning. He'll now face Auerbach, who laid down the first hit. It was a bunt for Brewster. He watches an off-speed pitch settle over the knees for strike number 1. Auerbach at a very respectable batting average coming into this ball game, 293. The 0-1. Outside.
This is his first real at-bat. He bunted on the first pitch last time up.
He extended his 7-game hitting streak now to 8 games, so a bunt will do it. He doesn't care. Watches a ball sit low. Came around to score anyway, so, small ball for Brewster in a situation where it really is not called for in the first inning.
He'll
But
take it,
works.
though, I guess.
Yeah.
Falmouth steals early and often, so a little gamesmanship for these two teams.
I like it. Don't have to rely on the long ball all the time. 2-1. That's a long ball swing from Auerbach, but he can't connect. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to the catcher.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough swing from the righty. You know when they go down to a knee and that back leg moves, right?
Yeah.
That it's not a swing you want to mirror.
Yeah. Here's the 2-2 from Majinski. Goes around on the swing. Strike 3 made by Doug Isham over at first base. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings worked by Carmen Majinski, and the Doors keep the game at 1-1 heading in to the home half of the third. We'll be right back on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field as we begin the bottom of the third inning. Falmouth will have 9-1-2, just like Brewster did to start off the third. Falmouth will look for a little bit more good fortune than the Whitecaps had as they went down in order. Carmen Majinski's starting to get back into form. He has retired 7 straight. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for the big righty as this righty, Connor Shamblin, fires a fastball outside.
Maisel at the plate, 1 for his last 8. His one hit was against Katuitt in a 1-for-4 game in which he started.
The 2-0 to Maisel on the outside corner for a strike. You mentioned Austin has hit a little bit of a rough patch. He was 7 for his last 11 a couple nights ago. His last start. Now he's 2 for his last 11 with 3 strikeouts over his last 2 games played. Watches a ball low. 3-1 now. Friendly hitters count.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts in his last 5 at-bats, and that was a guy who had not struck out hardly all summer. He just had 1 strikeout in his previous near 30 at-bats.
Here's the 3-1. Lined over towards Shirt, and that one is going to get past the shortstop Gage Workman. He had no chance on that one. Took a little bit of a hesitation before he dove for it. Decided better of it. Austin Maisel has a hit.
Yeah, that's a good piece of contact, and one that you might look at the position and think that the shortstop should get there, but it got out of the infield in a hurry, skipping on the back dirt and into center. And Maisel, who has just had such a different approach this summer compared to last, and it's been so successful.
First pitch to Hayden Cantrell, he takes for a strike. Cantrell grounded out to first his first time up. Switch hitter batting from the left side against Shamblin. Maisel with speed on first base. We'll see if they try to send him, and Connor Shamblin knows that, so he's going to check over on Austin. Falmouth, by and large, leading the Cape League in stolen bases with an 84% success rate. 0-1 to Cantrell is batted foul.
Yeah, the Doors have 47 swiped bags on the summer. That is first in the league by a wide margin, but they've stolen bases at a less frequent pace than earlier in the season. I think that because they don't need to as much. They have much more extra base hitting and power.
0-2, just foul. That's I think, the biggest reason is that resurgence of the power. Zach DeLoach, putting guys home from first base. You don't need to send them over into scoring position when you can hit it over the wall just about every other at-bat. Hayden Cantrell, not the most powerful in the Commodores bunch. He does have 3 home runs, but it's been a minute. The 0-2. Gets underneath it, pokes it towards the left side. That one is trickling, and out of play.
Cantrell, after swinging at the first pitch and grounding out his first time up, working a longer at bat here. Trying to find a pitch to hit that he can drive.
Seems like we don't see Hayden Cantrell work long at bats anymore. But he's usually getting on base, so it doesn't really matter. Another pickoff move over towards first base, but Maisel is back in time. 0-2 still the count, so not the best hit and run count. Maisel is running. Cantrell takes it. The throw down to second base is a little bit up the line, rolls into right field. Maisel called for time initially. If he had reacted immediately, probably could have taken third base. Instead, he'll settle for second.
And he was dead to rights. On an accurate throw, he is out at second base.
Yeah.
It was a little bit to the right, so a tougher play for Gage Workman, who had to come off of the second base bag. But moving into scoring position does Maisel.
Well, we've seen a lot of shoddy throws from the Brewster backstops. Remember Justin Vogt in that 12-7 game?
Yeah.
He just couldn't get out of his own way when guys were running, and Falmouth was taking advantage at every chance. 1-2 to Cantrell. Inside, and that one plunks him. Looks like it got him on the wrist. Yeah, right above the hand, I think, as he is bending over in pain, but Hayden's going to shake that one off. It was a breaking ball from Shamblin, so not the most painful you can get. That's now the second hit batsman.
It's the fifth time this summer, too, that Cantrell's been hit by a pitch. He bent inside and tried to get the hands out of the way, but they did hit him. Just shaking it off. A quick visit from the Falmouth trainer, but he seems fine.
He has that huge elbow guard, but ball just dove south of it and hit him on the wrist. Falmouth trainer is now shrugging her shoulders as she goes back to the dugout. Hayden, he's a tough boy. Tells her, I don't need it. I can just shake it off. Blake Dunn now up to the plate. He flew out to right his first time up. Now has a golden opportunity to give the Doors a lead early in this ball game. First pitch, he shows bunt like he normally does. Takes that pitch high for a ball. Blake, a native of Michigan, plays for Western Michigan and hit .379 there this past spring. Lines that pitch right back into the fence, and that was a beautiful pitch to swing at. It's locked into it, just missed.
Dunn's a guy who works long counts as well. He leads the team in walks with 16. It's because of foul balls like that and taking on the pitches that he sometimes thinks are close, but
yeah.
I don't know. He's got a much more liberal eye at the plate.
He is batting .261 entering this ball game, so looking to bump up that average. Takes the pitch down low. They check, did he go? Second base umpire initially made the call, said no go, and now they go over to the first base umpire, Doug Isham, who says they did go. So entire Brewster dugout was calling for, no, not that guy, the other guy, to make the call, and I guess they were right. It's 1-2. The quirky things you see on the Cape.
Oh, yeah. You got to love it.
Here's the pitch from Shamblin. Breaking ball that is hit out into center field. Ellis is back. He has a read on it. He'll make the grab. Maisel has to sprint back to second in order to tag up. He does so successfully and is on third.
A little bit of an odd play if you're watching Austin Maisel. He was probably close to 10 feet off the bag. And then he realized, wait, this is deep enough I can tag up. So he sprints, and it was like he was doing one of those side-to-side drills. You know what I'm talking about?
Suicides.
Yeah, where you touch the line. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think that he thought it was going to beat Ellis because he was kind of booking it towards third. And it must have been Brett Becker who was like, hold your horses, fella. You got to get back and tag up first. And it was a good thing that he did because now he's only 90 feet away with less than 2 outs, which means that if Zach DeLoach can hit a ball into the outfield, it should bring home the go-ahead run. 1-1 score here in the third with 1 out. And the Cape League's best hitter at the plate. Zach named a Cape League All-Star and a starter for the All-Star team. If he wasn't, then that would have been a travesty because he is just about leading in all important categories and just a hair behind in home runs.
All right, so hypothetical. Say he wasn't named an All-Star. What would you have done?
Drive back to New York. Never pay attention to the league again. First pitch he swings at and doesn't look like an all-star on that swing as he is fooled mightily by the changeup.
Yeah, he just was looking fastball way ahead of it, and he knew. Readjusts the batting gloves and steps back in. It's a good move by Shamblin trying to get a quick strike on DeLoach, keep him off balance.
Sure, he's looking for a ground ball to the middle infield. It would mean 2, and it would end the inning. The 0-1 goes upstairs with a fastball and misses too far. Zach has been incredible all season long, as we've been raving about. And the thing is that it just does not stop.
Right.
That's what's impressive the most. I mean, every single game he's adding to it and adding to it. He has not really been streaky at all. Watches a strike paint the inside corner. Now it's 1-2. Working on a 6-game hitting streak, has hits in 13 of his last 14. 6 RBIs in the last 3 games played as well. The 1-2. Upstairs for a ball. Two balls, 2 strikes to the right fielder from Texas A&M, whose family is in town, as David remarked back in the first inning. They are cheering loudly for him whenever his name gets called. Hoping to cheer here on a 2-2, swung on and fouled away as it was just dropped out at home plate by Brett Auerbach. Couldn't squeeze it, so DeLoach will get another chance.
Gotta be so careful here if you're Shamblin. We saw Dunlop yesterday get behind 3-1 to DeLoach, so he tries to fire a get-me-over pitch to get it to 3-2. And DeLoach took it for a ride over the fence.
Here's the 2-2. That one not taken for a ride, but it's just bounced foul, so he'll take it because that means that he'll get another chance to try to bring home these runs. Great pitches from Shamblin so far, however. I mean, DeLoach has not looked comfortable really at all on any of these. When he has been making contact, he's been tapping them just a couple of feet.
And while we're looking at DeLoach and thinking extra base hit or home run, there is just 1 out.
Yeah.
So a fly ball does score a run, too.
The 2-2 misses outside, ball 3. Something I said yesterday a moment before he hit that home run was that when it comes to Zach, is he's so humble and quiet, and yeah, I don't know, he's just doesn't really
unassuming. That's a
yeah, that's a good word for it. That he's kind of got the mentality of I just swing the bat and good things happen. So he's not a guy who's really looking for home run every time. Payoff pitch, grounded foul over towards Trey Cruz in the on deck circle.
And I think that's one of the best things about DeLoach as a player is that he doesn't rely on that power, and it's really come on late. I mean, he has 3 home runs in his past 3 games played, but before that he had just 1, and it was primarily singles and doubles.
And everything has been a very level swing, not swinging out of his shoes in the slightest. Pickoff move over to first. Cantrell is back in time. 3-2 count to Zach DeLoach with Hayden on first and Austin Maisel on third. So a lot of speed. We'll see if they try to send Cantrell. They do not. The payoff pitch. Grounded over towards short. This could be 2. Fielded by Workman. Flip onto second for 1. Over towards first. Got him in time. Zach DeLoach is a ground ball double play victim to end the 3rd inning. A very rare instance where he comes up empty on an RBI opportunity, and the Doors come up empty on the RBI opportunity as well, as they score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and strand a runner on third base. David, golden opportunity for the Doors, but we're still looking at a 1-1 game.
Yeah, kind of disappointing, and something you might not expect from Zach DeLoach is grounded out on that double play. There was runners on first and third with 1 out, and that's kind of the last thing you expect, honestly, from Zach DeLoach. But Connor Shamblin, you got to tip the cap to him. He does a great job.
Shamblin worked a 3-2 count against DeLoach. It was a real good battle, and Shamblin comes out on top. And one guy who wasn't able to get up in that inning, but I'm sure was itching for it, Barron Radcliffe.
Oh, yeah.
Because this guy has been hitting RBIs like it's nobody's business in the last couple of games. You're just itching for the point where he can get up with a couple men on.
Well, he had the bases loaded against Chatham, and he had a grand slam.
Right.
That was an outstanding at-bat from Radcliffe. We saw him strike out swinging his first time up, so some of the hotter bats struggling a little bit early against Brewster. and we're seeing a low-scoring game through 3, which maybe we didn't expect.
Like you said, got to credit Shamblin a little bit as he is able to get out of that jam, stranding runners on the base paths. We will head to a break as we are just about to get underway here in the top of the 4th inning. You're listening to the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations.
Top of the 4th inning, set to get underway here at Gov Fuller Field. Danny LaRose, David Korzanowski here in the booth in Falmouth, Massachusetts. Carmen Majinski is the man on the mound, and he fires the first pitch strike to Gage Workman, the 3-hitter, so it'll be the heart of the order for Brewster. Workman followed by Dodd, followed by Gentry. Gage 0 for 1 with a swinging strikeout in his lone at-bat on the ball game. Workman with a lot of strikeouts this summer. He's now up to 27, now in his 27th game played. The 1-1, just off the outside part of the plate. He's the one guy that I said to you in the beginning of the game. I was shocked he was named an All-Star.
Yeah.
257 average, 27 Ks now. That breaking ball totally slips out of the hand of Majinski, so it's 3-1.
Nothing really jumps out the stat sheet at you, right? 10 RBIs. Maybe 3 triples.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's the extra base hits. The 4 doubles, the 3 triples, probably. But again, he's working on a 4-game hitting streak, and I think the managers paid attention to that. He gets on base in this ball game thanks to a 5-pitch walk to lead off the 4th inning. So Brewster is in business as Majinski has walked his first batter.
Well, every time Majinski's on the mound, he walks 1. So that's his walk for the night. There it is.
It's away. It's
right.
gone.
It's gone. See
You're
ya.
good.
Yep. No more.
Well, Mason Dodd will try to capitalize on the 1 walk that Majinski's going to allow all ball game. Dodd already has capitalized on Majinski. He has an RBI single. First pitch swinging as he bats it out towards left field. This one is falling fast. Maisel sprinting in. That one's going to fall well in front of the left fielder. Austin just scoops it up on a jog as it is a bloop single for Dodd, who now is 2 for 2.
And Maisel was playing pretty deep in left field.
Yeah.
He saw the cleanup guy, Dodd, coming up. He saw his RBI single in the first inning and sits back as most outfielders would in that situation. Sky fly ball into shallow left field, nothing he can do.
Tyler Gentry now with a golden opportunity, just like the Doors had last half inning when they had runners on first and second and nobody out. Boy, these frames are really mirroring each other. Gentry playing some small ball as he looks to throw down a bunt, can't get it down cleanly. Takes a strike. Tyler, another all-star for Brewster, only batting .248. 14 RBIs, however. That's towards the top of the Whitecaps. Gets this bunt down right in front of home plate. Majinski's only play is going to be towards first. His throw is high, claunches off the bag, and safe is the call. Bases will be loaded for the Whitecaps with nobody out in the 4th.
Man, it's just a tough day for Majinski on the mound, and I'm not saying that because he's getting hit hard or because he's giving up a lot of runs, but the Whitecaps are getting on in kind of tough situations or dinky little hits, if you will. And now this is the first time we're going to see Jeff Trundy come out and appeal the call.
Jeff, I think, trying to say that Troy landed back on the first base bag before Gentry was able to cross the base, and now first base umpire Doug Isham is going to convene the other umpires. There's obviously no review here unless they want to use our stream, which I doubt they do. but there's no review here. They're just going to talk it over themselves and see if any of the other umpires saw something differently. A lot of head nodding from Rich Gaetani, but the call is evidently safe as Jeff Trundy, his very first debate of the summer, goes down 0 for 1.
Yeah, not often we see him stroll out of the dugout. If you've watched our streams in the past, you know that mound visits is usually Mike Landry. Always Mike Landry, really. And that Jeff Trundy sort of mans his post on the left end of the dugout. But again, going back to my previous point, the Whitecaps getting on with little bunt singles. And then it's been bunt singles and Mason Dodd. That's what it's been. It's been 2 bunts, and then Mason Dodd with a ground ball to the right side and a bloop single to left field. Majinski just has to settle in and do what he can.
First pitch he throws to Tyler Hardman. Hardman takes a home run swing and comes up empty, no balls and 1 strike. You're right. I mean, even the RBI single from Dodd wasn't very hard hit. And everything else, like you said, bunt and bloop single. So nothing that has really been a scorcher off the bat for Brewster. Hardman trying to change that with the bases juiced. The pitch. Another swing and a miss as he is just trying to launch this thing into another dimension. I mean, he is stepping out so far.
Majinski looks great so far in this high-pressure situation. You got the bases loaded and nobody out. Means you need a punch-out.
Hardman has flown out towards right field. That would get the job done to get the go-ahead run across. Majinski looking for the K. That ground ball won't get it done. It goes foul.
So he went with the same off-speed pitch on the inside part of the plate 3 times.
Hey, if it works, it works. I mean, Hardman was lined up on it and everything, but he was just trying to do too much with it, so Majinski thought he could do it once more. That time, Hardman kind of evens up his swing a little bit better and is able to make contact. No balls, 2 strikes. Carmen looking in towards Matt Nelson, shakes him off a couple of times. Now he's going to step off the rubber as neither pitcher nor catcher were connecting. Tyler Hardman, 10 RBIs so far on the summer. He does have 5 home runs. Tied for the Cape League lead. The 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Went down and away with a fastball, and he gets Hardman to chase. A huge K for Majinski.
Massive, and you also have the bottom of the order coming up now, Danny, 7, 8, and 9. Double play gets you out of the inning. Another strikeout makes it so that there's a force to any base to end the inning.
Do got to be careful with this bottom of the order that Brewster sports because Jesse Franklin, who starts it, the 7-hitter, pretty good himself from the University of Michigan, former freshman All-American second team. First pitch, taken on the outside corner. Another off-speed pitch to start an at-bat, and it's been working for Carmen.
Yeah, Franklin maybe still with some of those adjustments to the wooden bat and to the Cape League. 267 average, just 1 RBI, and he struck out his first time up.
262 average at Michigan this past spring. Here's the 0-1. Grounded towards short, or excuse me, that's Moretto at third. He throws to home for 1, on to first. They can't get the double play, but Steven Moretto making the smart decision to go home on a ground ball in on the grass, and he gets the much-needed out at home.
I love that play from Steven Moretto. You might get greedy on a hard-hit ground ball and think double play to second and first. Instead, he gets the lead runner because if that double play doesn't pan out, the run scores.
Yeah.
So you get the lead runner, and now 2 outs, 2 runners on. Majinski, 3 strikes and 1 out away from getting out of a bases-loaded, no-out jam.
That would be huge, and I'm sure you would see him pretty pumped up coming off the mound, but he can't get ahead of himself. Still got to get through Christian Molfetta, and the bases are still loaded. Molfetta takes a powerful swing, but he comes up empty. No balls and a strike to the designated hitter from Stanford.
And you're seeing some extra zip on the fastball right now. Majinski knows that this would be a huge K.
He looks like he's just turned on another gear right now. Still from the stretch with the bases juiced. The 0-1. Breaking pitch just misses outside. Heard a couple, pardon me, good pitches from the Falmouth dugout, but just missed the zone. Molfetta, a rising junior with the Cardinal, a native of Laguna Beach, California. 1-1. Too far inside, and that one plunked him. Immediately, Ryan Damari makes the call, says it must have grazed his jersey, I guess. That is as close to a non-hit by pitch as you can get, but he'll take his base and a run will score.
And Majinski didn't put up much of a fight on the call from Damari, so it must have clipped his jersey. But that's so tough for Majinski, who was in and around the zone. He was picking and hitting his spots perfectly. Just makes one mistake and it scores another run.
He wasn't even beat, just made that mistake himself. This pitch comes too far inside as everything is missing a little too in to right-handers right now. Marcos Castanon is the hitter at the plate. He's 0 for 1. Castanon from UC Santa Barbara went 1 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout in last night's ball game that Brewster lost to Wareham. Again, they were up 5-0, ended up losing 6-5. That one grazes the outside corner, a ball and a strike. Brewster currently a game under 500 as they try to change their season's fortune. They're still in the playoff picture in the East, but it is a very good East division, so you need to win just about every game you can get. Whitecaps currently losers of back-to-back games and 3 games back. Falmouth, meanwhile, have been trading off wins and losses over the last few. The 1-1 from Majinski. Breaking ball swung on and missed. That thing was on a string.
And he was thinking fastball. Castanon way ahead of it. As that bat was back around his neck by the time the ball was crossing the plate.
2 strikes against the 9-hitter Castanon, who we know has some power because he's done it here at Gov Fuller Field. Has a 3-run home run on the season against Falmouth, his lone dinger. Majinski working from the stretch now, this time around with the bases loaded. Here's the 1-2. Yes, he did, says Ryan Damari. The play will be made at home plate as Matt Nelson just taps the plate on the drop third strike. It is a swinging strikeout to cap off the 4th inning, and Majinski gets away from the jam. Only 1 run scored. So he does allow 2 hits, both of them really cheap, 1 a bunt and 1 a blooper, and then allows a run to score on a hit by pitch. Otherwise, I mean, he really should have gotten out of that pretty easily.
Yeah, you know he and the Commodores really wanted those 3 straight outs with the bases loaded, and he almost got them. I mean, he works a strikeout and then a great play by Steven Moretto. I go back to that to prevent the run from scoring on the Jesse Franklin ground ball. But then one pitch just misses a little too far inside, barely hits the jersey of Malfetta, and it gives the Whitecaps a 1-run lead yet again.
So, David, last time we were up in this booth, we were raving about Barron Radcliffe, who was due up 3rd in this half inning for the Doors, who are now trailing 2-1. And Barron has been really showing off the power lately. He's been showing off the offensive ability with a lot of extra base hits and RBIs. And that has caught the attention of some people in the Cape League.
Oh, yeah. No, he's been great. 8 RBIs was more runs scored than any other Cape League team that night.
Yep.
He put on a show at the Fenway workout and was absolutely outstanding. And it's really seeming like he's getting his swing together.
And for that reason, he got some very good news today. Was not named an All-Star, but will be in Orleans on All-Star Weekend, as our own Katie Florio is standing by to talk about how Barron will be here, will be in Orleans on Sunday and performing.
Thanks, guys. And it was just announced that Barron Radcliffe is 1 out of 6 guys in the entire Cape to be selected for the Home Run Derby. I was talking to him before the game, and he said it's such an honor. He knows he's a power hitter, but he really appreciates the fact that the Cape League recognized that as well. I also asked him if he feels like he has a chance to win it all, and he said he absolutely does. It's just a matter of if his power shows up or not.
All right, thank you, Katie. As Barron Radcliffe, I mentioned he will be performing on that Sunday in Orleans. It is because he will be in the Home Run Derby, as Katie was saying, and he's proud that they're finally starting to notice his power. I mean, they noticed it at Fenway,
right,
but now they're starting to notice it in-game on the Cape as the first pitch is taken for a strike by Trey Cruz.
And we'll see him in this half inning. Again, those 2 home runs against Chatham and a double. Had a double last night that was washed away with the rainstorm.
Trey so far with a double and an RBI himself in this ball game as he watches that one miss outside. So 4, 5, and 6 for the Doors in this half inning, as it's a real opportunity to try to bounce back and trailing 2-1, still in the first half of the ball game. Another pitch misses outside. Trey has been red hot, named to the All-Star team himself, an All-Star starter. Probably will be starting at shortstop. He came into tonight batting .320. Here's the 2-1. Downstairs for another ball.
Whitecaps and Commodores have been trading frames right now.
Here's the 3-1 to Trey. He lines it over towards the right side, and a leaping snag is made by Mason Dodd. Incredible catch by the first baseman as Trey Cruz is retired when he probably should have had a hit.
Yeah. I was about to say it hung up in the air, but it really didn't. I mean, that was all just Mason Dodd. That was a frozen rope down the right field line. Dodd, right place, right time. He timed the jump well. A great play by the first baseman.
So now Troy Claunch will try to get on base as he's 0 for 1. First pitch he watches go way outside. Troy has run into a little bit of a rough patch himself. One of those few guys in the Falmouth starting lineup and the entire roster pretty much that is kind of in a rough patch right now. Tim Tawa getting the night off. He has been red hot. Here's a bouncer over towards third. Gives Hardman a little bit of trouble, but he stays with it and gets the out at first base. 5-3 putout. Reason I mentioned guys like Tim Tawa getting the night off, but been hot. I mean, he was struggling a couple weeks back, and now he's been hot. Troy Claunch, though, has been a little bit streaky as he's still trying to find his way here in July.
He's just a little bit up and down. I think you described it well earlier where you said his hits come in bunches. He was 3 for 9 in back-to-back games against Katuitt, then had a hitless game. Seems like every other night, or every other start, I should say, he has a hit.
Here is the future Home Run Derby participant, Barron Radcliffe, who takes a first pitch ball. Barron struck out swinging back in the second inning. He led off that inning. Here's the 1-0 to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket. It's taken for a strike. So Barron only with 2 home runs on the summer, and both of them came in a game just 2 days ago. But he's still in the Home Run Derby because, of course, he has to be. I mean, the guy is a behemoth, and he's got that power. That strike just barely catches the knees, and it's 1-2.
It'll be a fun day out in Orleans. Home Run Derby at White House Field last year along with the All-Star Game out in Harwich.
No Commodore competed in the Home Run Derby last year. They will have one this year, but that man does strike out for his second time in as many at-bats here in the fourth as the Commodores go down 1-2-3. We'll head to the top of the 5th inning. It's Brewster ahead on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com. Urgent Care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
We begin the fifth inning here at Gov Fuller Field with the Brewster Whitecaps leading 2-1. Danny LaRose joined alongside David Korzanowski as we're just getting near the second half of the game underway. And so far it's been a pitcher's duel, which, David, completely contrary to your prediction.
Way to put me on blast. Thanks a lot, Danny. Still some time in this one, but yeah, I was looking at Shamblin, a guy with 3.46 ERA, but he hasn't got more than 4 innings. Maybe he's coming out soon as Majinski fires a first pitch ball. And then I looked at the Falmouth bats, and I just saw pretty much the same lineup from last night outside of that bottom third. And I thought that they weren't going to show any signs of slowing down, but so far, I am wrong. I will say it.
1-0 is a strike on the inside part of the plate. The reason I say that, in our pregame show, if you weren't able to catch it.
Oh, now you got to fill everyone in.
Listen, you got to do your due diligence. 1-1 from Majinski is loped out into shallow left center field. This one is going to hang up long enough for Austin Maisel to make the catch. 1 down. I put you on the spot and I said, what is your prediction? Maybe not win or loss, but what's your prediction for the nature of the game? Because the first game was a slugfest where 30-plus hits were had, and then the second game was a pitcher's duel when it was 4-3 in Falmouth's favor. So I asked you, what are we going to see? And David said very confidently it was going to be a blowout for the Doors. And I got to give you credit. I mean, I put you on the spot and you made a prediction and you were confident in it because I had no idea what to expect.
Right.
I really didn't know. I mean, I was sure Majinski was going to have a good game, but you never really know on the Cape what anything can happen. As strike number 1 is taken by Brett Auerbach. So far, though, it has been that pitcher's duel with only 6 hits across for both teams, 4 for Brewster, 2 for Falmouth. Falmouth has been pretty quiet, surprisingly, after those last couple of days where they have just exploded offensively. Now have been set down 1, 2, 3 in 2 separate innings. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball that moved way outside. Brett Auerbach, a single and a strikeout to his ledger on this game so far. Trying to get that batting average up over 300. The 1-2. Shot out into left field. Maisel is there, and he will make the catch. Good contact made by Auerbach, but Austin Maisel lined up perfectly.
The shortstop from Arizona State University, number 25.
Looking at Majinski's pitch count in this game, he's hitting about that threshold. He's close to 70 pitches now. In fact, that was pitch number 70. 46 for strikes, 22 for balls, and he hasn't got much longer than that.
See if they try to push him, because as of right now, he has been pretty darn good. First pitch misses low. Does have 2 runs allowed, but I mean, again, when you look at those runs scored, nothing really has been powerfully hit. And the second run, the go-ahead run, was thanks to a hit by pitch. He's walked 1 and hit 1. Here's the 0-1, and it's fouled away.
Trying to work another 1-2-3 inning. He did it in the second and the third.
Gage Workman is the man at the dish who is 0 for 1. He was the one recipient of the walk. That ball misses outside. He was the one who was thrown out trying to score on the ground ball with the bases loaded when Steven Moretto made a very smart move to throw home and get the force out there. Moretto continues to impress defensively. I mean, physically he's very good at third base, but also mentally knowing exactly what to do. That 2-1 breaks over the outside corner, and it's now 2-2. Workman, the rising junior over at Arizona State. One of many Sun Devils on the Cape as he grounds this over towards second. Hayden Cantrell is there. Workman with a lot of speed, but he's thrown out in time. A 4-3 putout to retire the side. 1-2-3 go the Whitecaps in the 5th inning as we head to the home half of the 5th. 2-1 in favor of Brewster.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare. Expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu. Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org.
Doors trail by 1 as we begin the bottom of the 5th inning, and Matt Nelson is going to try to have something to say about that. So far, he's 0 for 1 with a pop-out. Now 1 for 15 on the summer. He'll be followed by Moretto and Maisel. It's 7, 8, and 9 for the Doors. This bottom of the lineup, as my partner was saying, all of them really itching for some hits, have run into some rough patches as there's a strike called over the heart of the plate to Nelson.
And Maisel is the only one of those 3 with a hit his first time up. Singled to start off the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Connor Shamblin still on the hill, and he's still dealing, but he misses outside with that pitch. So far for Shamblin, the big thing that I pointed out before the game was the walks, and he has limited those. He has hit 2 batters, so that doesn't look too good. But, I mean, he had more walks than innings pitched coming into this one, 18-12. So far, no walks allowed as he gets a half swing from Matt Nelson on a beautiful breaking ball in the inside corner. Catcher.
It's all about control. If you're limiting the number of free passes you issue as a pitcher, you're already giving yourself a leg up.
Here's the 1-2. Misses low. Count evens up. And we've seen a lot of counts like that. 0-2 and 1-2. Not a lot of 3-ball counts.
Right. That's why before a game, the most important stat I'm looking at for a pitcher is strikeout to walk ratio, and then during a game, strikes to balls.
Here's the 2-2. Misses up and in, so this time we'll get a 3-ball count as Matt Nelson has been able to finesse himself into a full count. Moretto awaits on deck. He struck out swinging his first time up to end the 2nd. Here's the payoff pitch. Breaking ball on the inside corner, strike 3 called. Nelson was ready to flip the bat over towards the dugout as he gives a glance back to Ryan Damari, the home plate umpire, but he'll go back towards the dugout, a strikeout victim.
4th K of the evening for Shamblin. Tied for his 2nd most in a single game this summer. Last time out against YD, he had 5 Ks in his first outing of the summer on June 12th against Orleans. He also had 4.
Steven Moretto swings the first pitch fastball, and he grounds it back up the middle for a base hit. So Moretto now 1 for 2 as he gets off a schneid a little bit, and he's on base.
From Holy Cross, number 8, Austin Maisel.
Similar kind of hit that Maisel had his first time up. Up the middle. That one a little bit more straight into center field, as Maisel's was closer over towards Gage Workman at short. But Moretto needed that one. As at the plate, he was 1 for his last 13.
Check swing, and a ball is called against Austin Maisel. He gets ahead 1-0. Yeah, 1 for his last 13, and his last hit came against these Brewster Whitecaps. He went 1 for 3 with an RBI last time out at Stony Brook Field. Now he's 1 for 2 against this very Brewster team. Here's the 1-0 to Austin, lined over towards short. That one is caught on a line by Workman. He looks back towards first, but Moretto is back on the bag. A great play made by the shortstop.
And part of that was because Workman was shaded at double play depth. Part of it was because he knew where Maisel hit it the last time he was up.
Good point.
He was closer towards second base, so he moved over to his left, gave himself a leg up, and allowed him to make the catch just barely off the dirt. A nice play by Workman.
So Austin, despite falling 1 for 2, has been really keyed in to these pitches so far. Cantrell lays down a bunt up the third base line. This one is going to stay fair, fielded by Auerbach. Throw on to first. What a play! Brett Auerbach showing off the wheels from behind home plate as he's able to get to that ball and throw out the ridiculously fast Hayden Cantrell. unreal play from Auerbach, maybe the nicest we've seen from a catcher all summer.
Yeah, Cantrell with a long talk to Ryan Eiley right now because I think he's asking, how the heck did he make that play? Auerbach barehanded it, and he comes wheeling around. And in those types of situations, you think he might sail the ball. Rope, and a nice stretch by Dodd as well.
So what a play to get Brewster out of the inning as they allow no runs on one hit, no errors, and strand a runner left on base. We go to the top of the 6th inning. It's still 2-1 in favor of the visiting team.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for...
Top of the 6th we go here at Gov Fuller Field, and there will be a new pitcher on the bump for the Commodores. Carmen Baczynski's day is done. Now it'll be up to Sam Weatherly to keep this thing at a 1-run score.
7.04 ERA this summer in 7 2/3 innings of work, 6 walks and 10 Ks, and like a handful of relievers for Falmouth, just on and off. He allowed 4 earned runs in a June 26th date against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, got the loss, and then he was locked down for his next 3 innings of work in 2 appearances. Then against Katuitt, his last time out on July 10th, inning and a third, 2 earned runs, 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Interesting stat, whenever Weatherly allows a run, even if it's unearned, the Commodores have lost. When he has not allowed a run, they have won.
Interesting. Well, Weatherly, much like his teammate from Clemson, Justin Robleski, both of them just ridiculously on or off. They are either firing on all cylinders or are completely off, as here's a ground ball to Cantrell, out number 1 on pitch number 1 of the 6th inning against Mason Dodd.
That's a good start. And that will get the bad taste out of your mouth from the game against Katuitt. And I think those 2 runs that he let up against the Cavaliers were the difference in the game, because that was at the point when it was a 2-1 ball game. The starting pitchers for both teams, and Sean Sullivan for Katuitt and Nick Nastrini for Falmouth, were outstanding. But then those 2 runs felt like much more in a low-scoring game. Give Katuitt the win.
Well, coaches Trundy and Landry are putting their confidence back in Weatherly in another 2-1 ball game where both starting pitchers were shoving. 2-1 here in the 6th with 1 out and a 1-0 count to Tyler Gentry. Here's the pitch from the lefty from Clemson. Grounded over the third base bag. That one is called foul. Oh, boy. Rich Gaetani made the call immediately, but he might have just robbed Gentry from a double.
Yeah. Third base coach for the Brewster Whitecaps can't believe it. He puts his hands on his helmet after that one. Steven Moretto, on the other hand, gets up, shakes it off, and gets back into position.
I mean, obviously he's got the best angle on the ball right behind the third base bag, but it really looked like it tucked itself inside the bag. Yeah, that was fair. I'm looking at the replay. That was definitely fair. Oh well, Sam Weatherly will take it. Fires the ball outside at about 90 miles an hour. Gentry is 1 for 2, had a single back in the 4th, ended up being stranded on third base. Here's the pitch. Popped up. That one's going to get into right field. Deloach calls for it, and he will make the catch for out number 2.
6 Whitecaps retired in a row by Falmouth pitching.
Number 42, Tyler Hardman.
As Majinski's line is now final. We didn't touch on that, but he works another 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts for the third time this summer in a start. Majinski gets 7 strikeouts.
He's insanely consistent with his outings. 5 innings just about every single time, just about 7 strikeouts every single time. First pitch from Weatherly into Tyler Hardman is a breaking ball that does not break. 1 ball and no strikes to the Oklahoma Sooner. Hardman 0 for 2, a flyout and a strikeout. That strikeout coming in a huge situation. Majinski was facing the bases loaded and nobody out. He got a strikeout for the first out of the inning. Could have been a lot worse if Hardman was able to reach base back in that 4th.
Definitely.
But it's kept it a 2-1 game. Weatherly right now cannot find the strike zone as he just looks like he's overthrowing. Caleb Worster is warming up in the pen for Falmouth. So we might only see Weatherly for 1 inning. Here's the 3-0. Right down the chute for strike 1.
I'm trying to get a grip on the rotation that Mike Landry uses for the relievers. Against Katuitt, he also used Shane Drohan from Florida State. So you might see him in tonight's game as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of Drohan because, he hasn't been here too long. I was saying to you before that it's weird that we don't see Logan Hoffman more often.
Right.
Seems like we see him very sparingly, but he does have a lot of innings thrown on the year. Here's a fly ball into center field. Blake Dunn is there. He camps under it, and he makes the catch for out number 3. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings worked by Commodores pitching, first by Majinski in the 5th, now by Weatherly in the 6th, as the Whitecaps go down in order. We will head to the bottom of the 6th inning, still 2-1.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Welcome back to the Gov. Coming back a little bit early because, David, we want to highlight some of those Commodores who are now playing professional baseball, either in the big leagues or in the minor league systems. There's a lot of Commodore alumni all over America right now playing baseball, and there's a couple guys who have been pretty excellent lately.
Yeah, no question. You usually see guys from the time that they're here on the Cape to the time that they're really shining in the pros. For some of the best players is about 4 to 5 years. So you're looking at some guys from the 2013, 2014 teams that are really shining right now. John Means, all-star for the Baltimore Orioles. He was a 2013 Falmouth Commodore from West Virginia. And he made a LinkedIn profile because he thought that his professional baseball career was going to be over.
This was last year.
Yeah, 2.50 ERA this year with the Baltimore Orioles, 7-4 record, 69 strikeouts, and a 1.08 whip. Alex Young, a .68 ERA, 2-0 record with the Diamondbacks. He was here in Falmouth in 2014, and he's only given up 3 hits all summer. Adley Rutschman, number 1 overall pick, 2017 Falmouth Commodore. He's set to make his minor league debut with the Gulf Coast League Orioles down in Florida any day now. Check out a profile by Max Trink on the Commodores blog as well for more on Rutschman.
First pitch swinging is Blake Dunn, swing and a miss. I'm surprised Rutschman's taken this long to go play his first spring training game, or not spring training, minor league game.
Yeah.
Usually I've seen a lot of guys who have already gotten some chances. Kyle Stowers, actually a 2018 Commodore and an All-Star. He hit a walk-off home run just a couple days ago for the Aberdeen, I can't remember the name, but the single-A affiliate for Baltimore that plays in Aberdeen, Maryland. Pop up on the shallow right field grass will be caught over by the second baseman Marcos Castanon to retire Blake Dunn for out number 1.
I know Maverick Hanley's also on that team, correct?
Yes.
So Maverick Hanley, teammate of Kyle Stowers here in Falmouth. And he went up against Noah Syndergaard in his first minor league debut.
Yeah, they were
who was making a rehab start.
Playing against the Brooklyn Cyclones. Noah was injured, so he was making that rehab start. And Maverick, I think, went 0 for 3. Can't blame him for going 0 for 3 in his first professional game played when you're going up against Noah. Ball number 1 flies outside to Zach DeLoach.
And it is the Aberdeen Ironbirds.
Ironbirds,
yep.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to get that off the top of my head. Here's the 1-0 to Deloach. Breaking ball upstairs. I made this comment yesterday, but speaking of Kyle Stowers, Zach Deloach is having a Kyle Stowers-esque summer, but just way better. And it's tough to get better than Stowers was last year, the way he came on. But Deloach batting over 400, and he's just been tearing the cover off the ball day in and day out. Pretty much all of July, even stretching back into late June. Right now, he's at a comfortable hitter's count, 2 balls to no strikes. Commodores trailing by 1. Deloach with some power. He's got 4 dingers. Doesn't try to go after that fastball that catches the outside part of the plate.
He's on a 6-game hit streak right now. Hits in 13 of his last 14 games. As a stray bullpen pitch from Worcester leaks past the catcher Taylor Smith and into the field of play, so time is called.
He just threw another one into the Falmouth bullpen. He is flying off the handle out there on the bullpen mound. 3-1 the count to Deloach. Here's the pitch from Shamblin. Watches another one in the same exact spot settle in for a strike. Shamblin took a little bit off of that and is able to get Deloach again looking at it.
Deloach hasn't been hitless since July 5th. That was game number 2 of a doubleheader against Chatham.
Here's the payoff pitch. Taps it off of his front leg, so it's a foul ball. Zach was hit by a pitch in the first, came around to score the lone Commodore run. Then in the third, had a golden opportunity to put the doors on top in a 1-1 game. Had runners on the corners and 1 out. Grounded into an inning-ending double play, which is the least Zach Deloach thing we were expecting. Right now with an opportunity to reach base in more ways than one with 3 balls against him. Shamblin from the windup, rocks and fires. The pitch, breaking ball outside, ball 4. So Deloach still hitless on the ball game, but he has reached base twice.
And that'll get the job done as you're trying to crack the code against this righty from Alabama. Seen another righty warming in the Brewster bullpen.
Shamblin getting up there in pitch count. He's now at 85. Got the heart of the order at the dish as well in Trey Cruz, the cleanup man, who takes a big hack at the first pitch he sees, but goes right through it.
So it's Aaron Winkler for the Whitecaps right now, who's getting loose. Do you know who the second arm is for Falmouth? Or is it just Worcester? Yeah, it's just Worcester. Yeah.
0-1. Trey Cruz tries to go down and golf that one. It gets through the legs of Auerbach, so Deloach is going to reach second base. Double play now out of order, but Trey Cruz with a couple of real poor swings on some pitches out of the strike zone.
Yeah, and Danny, you mentioned it. I thought it was a good point. Trey Cruz, one of the much streakier hitters on this team. Now at the plate, he is 7 for his last 15, so a near 500. Before that was 0 for 11. Before that, had a 5-game hit streak. Before that was 0 for 15.
Watches that pitch miss outside. Yeah, we were looking through that yesterday before the ball game, I remember, and it was like just so certain that, you know, he was the streakiest of them. Right now, he's in one of those hotter stretches. That RBI double back in the first, the lone Commodore run. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Beautiful off speed from Connor Shamblin gets Cruz to go down on 4 pitches.
And Cruz frustrated with himself on that strikeout. He actually could have had his 4th straight multi-hit game. Line drive down the right field line.
Troy Claunch will come up to the plate with Deloach on second. He is the tying run in scoring position. Commodores with 1 run on only 3 hits, but Claunch was the hero against Brewster out at Stony Brook Field just about a week ago. He watches a strike. We mentioned a couple times, but Troy had that 3-run home run that tied the ball game at the time. And Falmouth ended up winning. So far, he's 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts. Deloach with a huge lead off of second draws the attention of the second baseman Castanon as a ball is thrown over too far inside to Claunch. 5 and 6 in this Commodore lineup has been held 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Pardon me, 2 strikeouts. 5, 6, and 7, actually, you can look at. They're 0 for 6. That pitch catches the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes now to the Oregon State Beaver in Claunch. Yeah, Dorse could really use some production out of those 3 guys. Claunch, then Radcliffe, then Nelson.
Big time.
3 strikeouts between them, and Claunch is staring at his first strikeout of the ball game if he can't make contact here on 1-2. Shamblin comes set. Fires home the pitch. Grounded right back up the middle, but there is Connor Shamblin with another athletic play. More defensive in nature, but it gets the job done. Another 1-3 put out against Troy Claunch. He falls to 0 for 3, and the Commodores score no runs on no hits, no errors, and they strand a runner in scoring position as we head to the top of the 7th, 2-1.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
Top of the 7th about to get underway with the Brewster Whitecaps leading the Falmouth Commodores 2-1. Daniel LaRose, David Korzenowski here on the call, and new guy on the mound, Caleb Worster.
2.57 ERA for the lefty from UConn, 1-1 record, 7 innings of work. As he fires a ball downstairs. 6 Ks and 1 walk. He's been pretty good, hasn't allowed an earned run since June 23rd.
First pitch he throws is a ball to Jesse Franklin. Jesse, 0 for 2 so far. Fielder's choice his last time up. Watches this pitch miss too far inside. Franklin mentioned his average this past year at Michigan, 262, which is respectable, but doesn't blow you away. But he's got a lot of power. Had 15 doubles, 13 home runs, 55 RBIs. It's only a matter of time until he's inserted into the heart of the Brewster lineup. Takes a powerful hack at that pitch and fouls it away.
How about these stats during the regional round? In 2 games against Creighton, he was 5 for 10, 5 runs, 3 RBIs, a double, and a triple.
That'll get the job done.
Not bad.
Caleb Worster now steps off the mound. Worster's UConn Huskies made it to a regional, but they couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, 2 seed in the Oklahoma State regional.
The 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. That's something that I, have to keep reminding myself because I keep seeing UConn guys and keep wondering myself, like, UConn's not really a blue blood, baseball school. Why are there so many UConn guys on the Cape?
Sure.
Got to remember that they were a 2 seed, and that's usually, for those Power 5 really solid teams that put together great years but didn't win their conferences type feel. So UConn putting together a fantastic baseball program, and Worcester's a part of it. Here's the 2-2. Check swing from Franklin, appeal down to third. No dice, says Gaetani. Count is now full.
Because I think that one of the most common excuses you hear from subpar baseball programs north of the Mason-Dixon line is weather.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not impossible to win in the north, right? Like, you look at teams like Indiana, and I think UConn is the primary example of a team that can be in the top 25 and competing on the national stage despite being in Connecticut.
Payoff pitch, up and in. Jesse Franklin might have something to say about that with his Michigan Wolverines going 3 games against Vanderbilt.
Duh.
But
he
takes a walk anyway. Another walk led up by Falmouth pitching. No, I do wholeheartedly agree. And Michigan was pushing that a lot. They were, they were bragging about how when they start their practices in January and February, they're doing it on snow-riddled turf.
Right.
But they said that it gave them more grit, gave them more heart, and they claim it paid off all the way into June. Christian Molfetta, who plays his baseball out in Palo Alto, so doesn't have to deal with that same type of weather. Probably gets cold there. Northern California. First pitch is a fastball over the outside part of the plate for a strike. A teammate of Tim Tawa's, who's getting the day off today. Molfetta, the DH, batting .242, entering this ball game so far 0 for 1. Got an RBI thanks to a hit by pitch his last time up, but he shoots this one towards second. Cantrell fields it, throws on to second for 1, on to first. Not in time. Molfetta beats it out.
Reaches on the 4-6 fielder's choice. Almost a double play turn, but nice hustle by Molfetta down the line. Maybe a little too softly hit to Cantrell.
Marcos Castanon will now come up to the plate with 1 runner on and 1 man out. He's 0 for 2. Both those at-bats coming in consecutive innings, the third and the fourth. Marcos, the right-handed swinging second baseman from the University of California in Santa Barbara. They made an Omaha run a couple years ago. He swings the first pitch and goes right through it, 0-1. They were one of those maybe Cinderella teams like a Michigan was this year. Definitely not, didn't start out at the same spot Michigan did, but when they got to Omaha, it was kind of a surprise and took out my Miami Hurricanes back in 2016 before I got there in only a couple games to make it that far. Castanon, of course, not on that team either. Worcester looking back, the runner at first now comes home with a pitch that misses just outside. Great location, but a little off the plate.
Worcester trying to work around the leadoff walk. It was just his second walk of the summer. Worcester, another guy who pounds the strike zone quite a bit.
Caleb with that ERA below 3 through 7 innings of work. Sam Weatherly pitched the 6th, and he was magnificent. Went 1-2-3, did the Whitecaps. Here's the pitch. That one glances off the outside black. Called a strike 1 and 2. Hits have come in bunches for the Whitecaps. They've been set down 1-2-3 in 3 separate innings, but first inning had a pair of singles. The 4th inning, they loaded the bases and were able to squeak out a run. And that's been the difference. Otherwise, Falmouth pitching has been impressive. The pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Castanon was lunging for it, and he had no shot on that breaker over the outside part of the plate.
He's had a tough night, and he's really had a tough go of it as of late. Castanon, who had a hitting streak, broke against the Commodores. He was riding a 4-game hit streak into the matchup on July 6th. And remember, he was much higher up in the batting order in the first matchup of the year between these two teams, but now in the 9th spot and still floundering.
Strike number 1 taken at the knees to Duke Ellis. No balls and a strike to the Texas Longhorn. Brewster still from the stretch with Molfetta on first, but he's not much of a stolen base threat. Not a lot of speed for the native catcher. Ball one comes inside.
79-mile-an-hour slider, trying to move and catch the inside part of the plate to Ellis. He thought it might have hit him as he moved back around.
Brewster's 1-1. Just gets a piece of it, and he bounds it foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Ellis, who is 0 for 3 so far on the ball game, and he has gotten out in just about every way you can. A strikeout, followed by a ground out, followed by a fly out. Only thing you can get after that, I guess, is batter's interference. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Another breaking ball down in the zone, and back-to-back swinging strikeouts are worked by Taylor Brewster to get out of the 7th. He walks the leadoff man, but then goes 1, 2, 3 through the next 3 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's stretch time here at the Gov. Falmouth looking for 1.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonials and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
We hope you're all stretched out if you're watching at home, as we are here in Falmouth, bottom of the 7th, getting ready to get underway. Commodores trailing the Brewster Whitecaps 2-1. Brewster have eked out those 2 runs on only 4 hits, but the Doors are a tally behind in both of those departments. Only 1 run on 3 hits, so both offenses have been held pretty quiet all game long. And Falmouth is just looking for, one inning pretty much could win this game for either side. Need 1 big inning to pull away a little bit, and they'll be looking to Barron Radcliffe, Matt Nelson, and Stephen Moretto to get that started here in the 7th.
New pitcher as well for the Brewster Whitecaps and Aaron Winkler.
That's a good sign for Falmouth.
Exactly. Shamblin was great. His best outing of the summer. He goes 6 innings, allows just 3 hits, 1 earned run, walks 1, and strikes out 5. Winkler, a rising senior with the Richmond Spiders, is a righty from Pound Ridge, New York.
He fires the fastball low to Barron Radcliffe, who so far is 0 for 2. 2 swinging strikeouts, both of those against Shamblin. We'll see if he has better luck against Winkler. So far, so good, as he gets ahead 2 balls to no strikes in Winkler's Cape League debut.
Yeah, this is his first outing of the summer, recently activated. Had a 4.31 ERA during his junior year out in Virginia.
2-0 is mashed into right field, but that one is not deep enough. As ranging over, settling underneath it, and making the grab in center is Duke Ellis. Off the bat, it was a towering shot, but he got a little bit too under it, and Radcliffe is retired.
It's just got some mean swings. It's just loud, and a high fly ball into right center field. Good contact, but just a little too far underneath it.
Brewster team has made a lot of transactions in the last couple of days. Rosters were only able to get finalized just a couple days back. I believe it was Wednesday was the final day to get your roster in order as Matt Nelson watches a ball sit high. And Brewster had made countless transactions. I mean, they were really, kind of tinkering with it in the late stages. Saw a couple of pitchers go, one signed. Ground ball fell into the Brewster dugout.
Yeah, Luke Berryhill, actually, a teammate of Carmen Majinski down in South Carolina, signed with the Reds just a day ago.
Will no longer be a teammate of Carmen Majinski's.
They'll always be teammates.
Berryhill, I believe, was in 13th or 18th rounder, if I'm remembering correctly, somewhere in the teens. Decided to go over towards Cincy as that one's fouled away. And the way it works, I mean, the signing period ends in a couple days. But he pitched for a couple weeks here with Brewster, impressed the team enough that they were willing to, after already having drafted him, to offer him more money, is what I think is what happens. Those pitchers maybe don't agree initially to the initial signing price, and then they get a couple more zeros, and that will send them. Ball misses outside to Matt Nelson, who's already down 2 strikes and trying to work together a good at-bat.
We saw something similar last year from Ian Cook, pitcher from Western Illinois. He's here with the Commodores and was an all-star and then signed with the Reds as well in the middle of the season.
Cook was undrafted coming out of Western Illinois, so coming to the Cape was definitely the best decision he could have made for his career. He had a sub-1 ERA, that's why he was an all-star, and that's why he got signed. Here's the payoff pitch to Matt Nelson. Swing and a miss on a slider diving out of the zone. Matt Nelson now 0 for 3 with strikeouts and back-to-back at-bats. That would have been ball 4, but it was too juicy for Nelson, and he goes down.
Now batting, the third baseman from Sacramento State, number 31.
Tough day for Matt Nelson as he's 0 for 3. He had that pop fly in foul territory in the second inning and then 2 strikeouts. Still just 1 hit on the summer.
1 for 17 now goes the Florida State Seminole, as this is a Sacramento State Hornet who fouls away the first pitch he sees. Steven Moretto, who's 1 for 2, had a single back in the 5th inning. Steven just got his hit total to double digits on the summer with that single a couple innings ago. He's now 10 for 55. That's below 200. Here's the pitch. Just outside, 1-1. Two outs, nobody on here in the 7th. The Commodores have not gotten a runner into scoring position since the 3rd.
And I'm really looking at the top of the order. Hitters 1 through 4, a combined 1 for 9. They did have a couple hit batsmen and a walk, but that is not like what we've seen the past couple nights.
Yeah, no. By all means, I mean, when Hayden Cantrell, you said it yesterday, when Hayden Cantrell isn't getting on base, when he's not hitting, seems like nobody else is.
Sure.
That has been the case tonight. Count now 3-1 to Moretto. Also, another point to be made, that top of the order might have their last chance in the 8th inning. So if they don't get going, things might all be said and done. 7 more outs to go for the Doors. Here's the 3-1, and it is launched into left field. Franklin is back. He's at the wall, and this ball's out of here. Tie ball game thanks to Steven Moretto with his first home run of the summer.
Wow. We've seen a handful of home runs this summer for the Commodores and a handful of exciting ones. But I don't think I've ever seen the crowd and the Commodores and the dugout in particular, outside of the walk-offs, right?
Right.
Get so excited for a home run as they just did for Steven Moretto, and I think that speaks a large part to his personality and his character. He is so involved, he's so active and talkative, and he's such a great teammate, always has a smile on his face. So the Commodores are definitely excited to see him put one over the wall, especially to tie the game.
He's everybody's best friend. When Deloach is hitting, when Cantrell is hitting, he's always the first to high five. It's quickly on with 2 to Maisel after a foul ball. And he had struggles of his own, but now 2 for 3. The game-tying RBI, and the game is all tied up at 2 apiece. Commodores and Whitecaps matched evenly in both runs and hits on the ball game, and that was a spark the Doors needed desperately. The 0-2, check swing. That one gets away from Auerbach, and Austin Maisel is going to take first base on the drop, third strike without a throw. A little bit of luck after the long ball, and the Commodores extend the 7th.
So now they get a chance in the 7th inning, not the 8th, right?
Yeah.
After the bomb from Steven Moretto to tie the game, and then a little bit of luck from Maisel. Top of the order back up, and now with some momentum. And Danny, again, a fresh pitcher on the mound. This is the debut for Winkler, and he's starting to realize these Cape League hitters are no joke.
Hayden Cantrell is definitely the least joking of them because he has been one of the most dominant hitters all summer long. Swings and misses at the first pitch, fastball up in the zone. Hayden with hits in 8 of his last 10 games played. Hitless tonight. 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. The 0-1, outside.
And Winkler, when he first came out, seemed like he, settled right in against Radcliffe and Nelson. It looked like he'd been here before, especially with the strikeout to Nelson, but then Moretto tags him for a long home run.
Maisel got on base thanks to his mistake behind the plate. The 1-1 is batted foul. That one pitch to Moretto, just left a fastball right over the middle of the plate. That you couldn't get more down the middle than that, and Steven made no mistake. Great to see Moretto with some power. Now with 1 home run on the summer, as I mentioned, only 6 RBIs for the 3rd baseman. Had 9 home runs this past year with Sacramento State, so he's got a lot of power. The 1-2 to Cantrell stays about neck high. 2-2 ball game, 2-2 count, 2 outs to Hayden Cantrell. Second baseman batting from the left side. He's only faced righties in this ball game. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. Little bit of off speed, and Cantrell now goes down via way of the K. But the Commodores strike back. They score 1 run on 1 hit. It was a long ball from Steven Moretto. No errors, and 1 runner left on base. To the top of the 8th we go. Brand new ball game here at the Gov.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field. As we begin the top of the 8th inning, we're going to take a look at what's ahead after these final 2 innings of play. Road game in the next 2 days at YD tomorrow at 5 p.m., then at Hyannis on Monday. Then a home and home against Wareham. The Gatemen right now sitting atop the Western Division, so that's going to be huge. Those will be games 2 and 3 against Wareham on the summer. And then another game against Wareham after a matchup with Cotuit. Then Orleans at home. So 4 straight games, 3 of them against the Gatemen, but 4 straight against the top 2 teams in the Western Division. This coming week might, make the difference of the season.
Yeah, I'm calling this next week Wareham week.
First pitch swinging is Brett Auerbach as he drives one into deep center field, but Blake Dunn has it lined up perfectly, and he makes the running catch for the first out. New pitcher on the hill, Thomas Gerard. So a lot that we're going through because it's Wareham week coming up. Yeah. Thomas Gerard's on the hill. Sort it all out.
I will. Thomas Gerard, first and foremost, 0 ERA, hasn't allowed an earned run in 3 innings of work. Came out against Brewster and got a strikeout to Molfetta to end that game. That was in the 8th inning because darkness rolled in and prevented the 9th from being played. He's been outstanding. I mean, his slider is just nasty as he misses inside. But, yeah, look, going back to that upcoming schedule, I'm really excited to see Wareham. We haven't seen them since mid-June. I think it was June 17th was the last time the Commodores played the Gatemen. And those are 4 important games for these 2 teams.
1-0 fastball runs outside. 2-0 now the count to Gage Workman, the 3-hitter, who's sporting an 0 for on the ball game. Thomas Gerard only 3 innings pitched on the summer, because typically when he comes into games, it's pretty sparingly. He was used a lot by Duke. He was their closer, and it's usually for only about an inning. Otherwise, he would be an easy Cape Cod All-Star. I mean, easily, because the guy has just been relentless with strikes this summer. No runs allowed. 5 strikeouts over those 3 innings of work. Typically, they're always 1, 2, 3. Right now, he's behind Workman, 3 balls and no strikes. Gage has already worked a walk on the day. Here's the pitch. That one graces the outside part of the plate for a strike.
This is kind of the most wild we've seen Thomas Gerard, though.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot more swings and misses in the past. His strikeout number's at 5 in just 3 innings of work.
3-1 is swung on and missed, and that's what we're used to seeing from Gerard, is he throws pitches well out of the strike zone, but still gets guys to swing at them just because of how juicy they look when they come over the plate. Full count now after falling behind Workman, 3 balls to no strikes. The Duke righty lifts and fires, and he gets strike number 3. It's dropped by Nelson. He comes far inside on the grass to throw over to first for the second out, as a strikeout goes against Workman's ledger for the second time. And how about Thomas Gerard? 3 straight balls, and then a couple of swinging strikes on pitches way down in the zone.
And that's what he always gets swings on, is that low pitch that dies in the dirt. The batters come around because it looks like it's going to cross the plate out of the hand. Then they just come up absolutely looking foolish. I'd love to be in the batter's box and just see a few of those pitches, just what they look like from a batter's perspective.
Maybe we can get that situated. We can take a video of it and see you try to get a hit off of Thomas Gerard.
I think I could do it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
1 ball, no strikes to Mason Dodd, who's 2 for 3. He had an RBI single way back in the first. Grounds one over towards Cantrell. This time Hayden will be there, unlike the first single that Dodd got when he just beat Hayden. And it's a 1-2-3 inning worked by Thomas Gerard, doing what he does best, putting down the opposing lineup in order, as we will keep it right here for the middle of the 8th inning. Falmouth and Brewster tied up at 2. And our own Katie Florio is standing by. The 3rd member of our broadcast team is standing by with another little ditto on this team and what it means to be back home after such a long road trip.
Yeah, they had such a long road trip last week. 4 straight road games. Bourne, Hyannis, Cotuit. Those are all relatively nearby. But then a long trip out to Chatham. And being back home in the press box yesterday felt good.
It felt good for us, and I'm sure it felt good for the players as well, as Katie Florio is standing by to tell us how much it really meant. Katie.
Thanks, guys. And Falmouth has not had a home game since last Sunday. You can't count last night because that was rained out in the second inning. But earlier today, Jackson Coots told me that they love being back at home. They love being in a routine. They're able to get to the locker room early and just kind of relax and regroup. He also said it's certainly great to play in front of the home crowd. And there's a great one on this Saturday night, and they are fired up after Steven Moretto's game-tying home run.
Thank you so much, Katie. We heard the whole dugout get really rowdy after Moretto's home run. We heard the crowd get rowdy. That's something we haven't remarked about, that the crowd is really good tonight. They got really loud after Steven hit that dinger.
Yeah, and especially the teammates. I mean, I was watching the dugout and the bullpen just absolutely explode as they were really excited to see him, one of the most cheerful and enthusiastic guys on this team, get his first home run of the year.
Sure, they were excited to see Thomas Gerard pitch that perfect eighth, and now the bottom of the eighth will get underway with Blake Dunn, Zach DeLoach, Trey Cruz coming up to the plate. These are exactly who you want to be hitting. I mean, Dunn's such a consistent guy with that, nice batting average at around 270. Zach DeLoach, obviously best player on the Cape, and Trey Cruz, who has been red hot. So, you're getting to the heart of your order. You've got pretty much, you want to put down Brewster right now. You want to just score one run and bring it back out to your closer in the ninth inning, settle things down. Don't want to have to settle for a walk-off again. It would be fun, I'm sure, but don't want to have to force a walk-off again. So we'll see if Falmouth can scratch out. Just need one right here in a tie ball game in the eighth inning.
This game is really similar to what we saw against Harwich.
Yeah.
Same amount of runs, same amount of hits. The one difference, I would say, we saw middle relievers go back and forth in that game against the Mariners on Sunday. And there have been a little bit more runs later in this game, but not many.
So 2-2 as we enter the home eighth. Blake Dunn, who's 0 for 3, will lead off. Something else, Carmen Majinski, now 4 starts for him and still no decisions.
Yeah.
He consistently throws 5, and it's always in very close ball games. But, hey, he pitched well enough for Falmouth to get a win. They just need to act now with the bats as the first pitch comes in for a ball from the new pitcher, Sean Fisher. Big lefty fires a breaking ball that swung on and missed.
He's got a really low arm slot, borderline side armor. 2.45 ERA. This is now his 8th appearance of the summer. He has 11 innings of work. Not a strikeout guy, just 4 Ks and 2 walks.
Here's a chopper over towards third. That one is fielded on a high hop by Hardman. Throw on to first in plenty of time for the first out of the inning. And Dunn is now 0 for 4.
Now batting the right fielder from
Tough day for Blake Dunn.
It happens, especially the way Brewster's pitching.
Definitely. But now the middle of the order trying to get things going here in the 8th.
It'll be D-Lo, as they call him, Zach DeLoach. Again, leading the Cape League in average, working on a 6-game hitting streak. This will probably be his last chance to extend it to 7 unless this game goes to extras. Watches a pitch miss outside. And we're so used to him, like when he gets those hits in that hit streak, going not just like 1 for 5 every game,
right,
but going 3 for 4, 4 for 5, 2 for 3.
Stat on DeLoach, 6 games with 3 or more hits.
That's crazy.
And 2 with 4 or more.
So he is rapidly approaching Hayden Cantrell's team lead in multi-game hits, and DeLoach arguably is doing it, in a fancier way with a lot of hits as he absolutely annihilates this ball into deep right center field. Ellis is back. That one's going to roll up to the fence, and it's going to be a stand-up double for Zach DeLoach here in the 8th inning. He extends the hit streak, and he nearly put this game on ice. Just needed a couple more inches for a home run.
Fans and Zach DeLoach's family going crazy. But one thing that I can't let him get away with, aggressive bat flip on the double. He was midway down the first base line, and he catapulted that bat, back towards the dugout. It went end over end multiple times, but then he realized, wait, that thing might be dying, and it hits the wall. So he then gets on his horse and gets into second base. But maybe don't bat flip in that scenario.
All's well that ends well. He's still on second base. Trey Cruz now grounds one over towards short. They're going to go to third with it, and it gets away. DeLoach is going to hang up at third base, but a poor throw from short over to third. On the relay was Workman to Hardman. Hardman couldn't make the grab with DeLoach sliding into his legs, and a risky move pays off for the Commodores as they now have runners on the corners. So Trey Cruz gets first base regardless of the way it is scored. He will take it because he had a ground ball right at short. Probably would have been an easy out. Probably would have been an easy out at third too, David, as long as the throw was made.
Yeah, it was low and a little bit towards Zach DeLoach, meaning 2 or 3 feet away from the third base bag.
First pitch clips the outside corner to Troy Clonch. Golden opportunity for the Commodores with the go-ahead run, potential game-winning run, as we are in the bottom of the 8th inning, standing only 90 feet away. Fisher already in trouble. He's been good this year with a 2.45 ERA. As Clonch lines this into right field, and that one is going to hang up. Catch is made by Gentry, and DeLoach was not ready. But now an airmail coming in, play at the plate, and Zach DeLoach has just run the Commodores out of the inning after he thought that ball from Gentry was going to sail to the backstop. It was caught by Auerbach on a jump. DeLoach got aggressive, does not pay off. A wacky, quirky, mistake-ridden inning here in the bottom of the 8th ends with no runs scored on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We will head to the top of the 9th on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network, all tied up at 2.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Welcome back to Go Fuller Field. On your screen right now are me and David hopped up in the car.
Yep.
We are hopped up on energy drinks.
Do you like my ride?
I love your whip. It looks like a cartoon. We are hopped up on energy drinks, and we're ready to go on a road trip. And
Let's do it.
Where are we going first, David, as we go around the Cape League?
So many choices. We're going to start nearby off the Cape. The Wareham Gatemen trail Harwich 5-1 in the 6th inning. And then we'll go to Bourne, Katuitt, and the Braves in another matchup. Kettleers up 2-0 in the top of the 7th. Chatham and Hyannis, first in the East, 5th in the West, tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 8th. And the last matchup way out East, 5-1 Orleans in the top of the 4th inning. Orleans up on YD. So that is around the Cape League featuring our graphic.
Lovely graphic made by the one and only Haley Blitcher, our very great social media coordinator. First pitch fastball is a strike over the outside part of the plate from Thomas Gerard to Tyler Gentry. So a lot of games across the Cape are toss-ups, much like this one. Low-scoring games all around the Cape. No team has more than 5 runs, and a lot of close ones. A couple ties, including this ball game, as here's a ground ball foul towards the Brewster dugout. 0-2 now the count to Gentry. And boy, David, I mean, that bottom of the 8th inning started off so promising and then just fell apart as quickly as it got together.
We didn't really get to unpack it because we were getting ready for our trip around the Cape.
Yeah,
but
we were loading up the car.
Troy Clonch with a fly ball, and it was shallow right field. DeLoach, I know he wants to score there. He's got to stay held up. And originally he was, as another ball misses outside. Then a long throw from Gentry, and out of the hand, I can see what DeLoach was thinking. It looked like it was going to land in the backstop or by the Brewster broadcasters down on the third base side, but a nice stop by Auerbach. He caught the ball, and then it's just a foot race to home plate, and Auerbach was closer.
1-2, breaking ball lands on the outside corner. Tyler Gentry disagrees, but he's got no words for Ryan Damari as he'll just go back to the dugout, a strikeout victim. Out number 1 recorded by Gerard. He has retired the first 4 batters he has faced. And you're right, David. I mean, it was a risk taken by Zach DeLoach, and maybe could have been a more calculated risk because it seemed like he just saw the ball sail and was like, all right, I'm there. Brent Auerbach, we know, has speed even for a catcher, was able to catch up to DeLoach, and Zach was a dead duck. But the initial mistake probably was the fact that he didn't tag up right off the bat. Ball one runs outside to Hardman. Because, yeah, the right fielder Gentry, it was shallow, and he's got an arm. But at the same token, Zach maybe could have had a play, but at first contact, he thought it was going to land for a hit, and he was off the bag, so he didn't even give himself a chance.
Yeah, just chaotic on the base paths, was it?
1-0 is a breaking ball that sits just a bit below the knees. Thomas Gerard with an extended look into home plate as he's confused where that one missed. 2-0 the count now to Hardman, who's 0 for 3. Open stance from the right-handed swinging Sooner. The pitch up and in for ball 3. Another 3-ball count from Thomas Gerard. Not something we usually see.
Not at all, and we've seen a couple now in his appearance here on this Saturday night. Didn't look as great in the 8th, still with that 1-2-3 inning.
3-0 pitch from Gerard. Green light for Hardman as he fouls one back. I like it. I like the green light. It's a tie ball game. One swing could end not end the game, but put Brewster on top for good. And he got a pitch right down the middle, so why not? Hardman, 5 home runs on the summer, as we've mentioned. Had only 6 home runs his entire school season through 54 games played. 3-1. Outside for ball 4. Gerard allows his first base runner on the 5th batter he faces of the ball game, and the potential go-ahead run stands on first with 1 out.
First walk of the summer, and this is really uncommon for Gerard. We see him usually miss low if he is missing, and it's because batters are laying off of that slider, but he's missed a lot upstairs and inside. Does not seem to be fully himself in this appearance.
And got to be careful right here with Jesse Franklin at the plate. Very powerful bat who could put one into the gap like nobody's business. He's so far 0 for 2, walked his last time up in the 7th. First pitch to Jesse, he pops it up into foul ground. Claunch from first base is over near the Falmouth dugout. Has trouble reading it and can't make the catch. We've seen Troy make some pretty excellent plays at first base coming off the base on pop-ups like that, much like a catcher would, but this one he can't read.
Yeah, he got in a hurry. He's now looking up at those lights that were shining down on him. Just overran the ball. It landed about 2 feet behind him. And I don't know, Falmouth just looks a little off. I can't put my finger on it, but even Thomas Gerard, some of the base running mistakes for the Doors tonight, and then plays like that.
Well, the pitching has been good enough, and the hitting has been just enough to keep this game tied. And Falmouth looking to take a win against Brewster again and win the season series, even if they are a little bit off. Ball number 1 rides low to Franklin. Jesse has hits in 3 of the 4 games he's played on the Cape so far. Looking to make it 4 for 5 in what could be his final at-bat of this one. Gerard just trying to keep it tied so that the Doors can get a potential walk-off in the bottom half of the inning. Back pick over from Matt Nelson, but the throw goes a little bit up the line and was late anyway. He saw Hardman taking some liberties on his secondary lead from first base. We've seen Nelson back pick one guy before, and he tries to do it again.
And that was almost another mistake. I mean, I know Troy Claunch got to it and no errors were made, but if that throw was a little bit more wild, that could have ended up in right field near the Falmouth bullpen.
2 balls to 1 strike to the lefty, Franklin. Gerard staggered approach from the stretch. Lifts and fires home. Breaking ball on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. Beautiful curve from Gerard. Gets Franklin with his knees buckled, and I think he knew it.
Now that's the Gerard we like to see. He's keeping it low, right at the knees. He's forcing you to swing, and in that situation when you lay off, he's painting the knees.
Probably the best pitch we've seen from Gerard all evening, as he's now got 2 outs and has kept the runner on first base. Christian Molfetta now at the dish. Reached base his last 2 times at the plate, but did not get on with hits as he watches a first pitch breaking ball at only 76 miles an hour come in for a strike. Molfetta on a 1 for his last 16 stretch right now, after he grounded into a fielder's choice in the 7th.
Well, Feta was the one batter that Girard faced in the matchup on July 6th as well. Struck him out.
Time called. It was a ball anyway from Girard, as he took a little bit too much pause in delivering that pitch. Christian does have 3 RBIs in his last 2 games played, make it 4 after the hit by pitch back in the 4th. So 4 ribbies in 3 games played and only 1 hit throughout that entire stretch. The 0-1. Breaking ball over the outside. No, called a ball. I guess it missed high, but that no, that was a strike. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna qualify it. Missed calls happen. They happen.
It looked like a good pitch from Girard.
Maybe just came in a little bit too close to the letters. 1-1 lined right at Trey Cruz, so hey, doesn't hurt the Commodores anyway. An L6 on your scorecard to retire the side as Thomas Girard works through 2 innings scoreless, and we will head to the bottom of the 9th inning, tied up at 2. Commodores looking for a walk-off.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Redshirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Home 9, 2-2 ball game at Gov Fuller Field. Commodores with Barron Radcliffe, Matt Nelson, Steven Moretto coming up to the plate. We saw a walk-off home run from Taylor Smith just about a week ago here at the Gov, and these are the guys you want at the plate. Radcliffe with so much power competing in the home run derby in a couple of weeks. Moretto, 2 batters behind him, had the game-tying home run. Seeing if they can recreate that magic that they had against Harwich their last time, as ball number 1 flies outside to Radcliffe. Still Sean Fisher on the hill. He got through that first inning unscathed thanks to a little bit of luck. Got Zach DeLoach to run the Doors out of the inning after a line out from Troy Clonchin to right field. Here's the 1-1 to Radcliffe, working quickly as Fisher and throwing a lot of strikes as he peppers the inside zone with that one.
And that's something Fisher relies on. He pitches to contact. Only with 4 strikeouts entering this matchup, tries to force groundouts and flyouts, as a ball misses just outside to Radcliffe. But that's the kind of trouble that he ran into in the 8th inning. He got tagged hard for a double. If he leaves 1 pitch to hit a little bit too juicy, this game could be over.
The entire bullpen standing on that bench like they were with Smith's walk-off. And here's one torqued into right field, but that one is not far enough as Radcliffe got way under it. He's so confusing. He gets these freaking, nukes off the bat, and then it just dies out there. He just gets so far under it.
Now batting the catcher from
That's the second time I've done that with a Radcliffe hit.
Right.
Matt Nelson.
He throws the helmet on his leg as he walks back to the dugout. He really wanted to get a hold of that one and knew that he was maybe a couple inches or a half a second away from ending the game. Off the bat, I thought the same thing. It's just because it's such a loud sound.
For me, it's the high-flying sail of it. When you get that much arc on the ball, like right off the bat, I mean, it's characteristic of a guy who has power and a lot of strength, so it happens a lot, even on pop-outs. But, when it happens on fly balls like that, you just look up and you're like, it's already 40 feet in the air. It's got to be going deep. But didn't have the carry that it needed. 2-0 now the count to Matt Nelson. He's 0 for 3. Boy, would he like a hit. The pitch from Fisher, outside, ball 3. Matt Nelson does have a lot of walks on the season, has been hit by pitches 3 times too. He's a guy who gets on base a lot despite the 1 hit. Here's the 3-0, and he watches it all the way for a strike. The pitch. Laid on it, and he fouls it away over towards that police parking lot.
Fisher was a middle reliever at Maryland during his sophomore year from Parsonsburg, Maryland. He's been really solid this summer for the Whitecaps.
Again, that sub-3 ERA nearly got rattled in the 8th, but got out of it. Here's the payoff pitch, and it is floated into right field. That one is going to stay up long enough for Gentry as it goes out a lot deeper than initially expected. Catch made out in right yet again. Back-to-back F9s on my scorecard, as Matt Nelson, in on the hands, was able to punch it out pretty deep.
3 straight now, too, as Gentry has been out in right, and he made that throw into the catcher, Brett Auerbach, to end the 8th inning. Again, remember, Zach DeLoach was on third. He thought that it was going to drop off the bat of Troy Clonch, hung up in the air. He ran back to third to try to tag. Saw a high throw coming in from Gentry, but then was tagged out at home plate.
Steven Moretto watches a breaking ball run too far inside. Last time Moretto was up, this entire crowd and the entire dugout got into it. He hit a game-tying home run. Lines up another pitch in a similar location as his previous AB, but he fouls it back. Steven now 2 for 3 on the ball game. That lone RBI coming on his long ball. 2 outs against the Doors with nobody on base here in the 9th. Here's the pitch. That one is driven out into left center field. That one is falling, and it is going to fall. Off the end of the bat, Moretto takes a huge turn around first base. He's going to go back in there. But he now has 3 hits in his last 3 at-bats, and he keeps the inning alive for the Doors.
Great stuff for Moretto, who has his first 3-hit game of the summer. He's a guy who, as you mentioned, came in with single-digit hits and had just 1 game with 2 hits way back on Father's Day, June 16th.
Austin Maisel, the 9-hitter, is going to try to be the hero for the Commodores with the winning run on first base. First pitch to the Holy Cross Crusader is a curveball that nearly hits him. Maisel does have a hit today. It was a ground ball past the shortstop Workman that went about up the middle. Back in the 3rd inning, his first at bat. The 1-0, Moretto is running. The throw down to second base. In time, they got him. Steven Moretto trying to steal second with 2 outs in the 9th inning in a tie ball game. Very risky, does not pay off for the Doors, as that will end the half inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base in the bottom of the 9th. Free baseball as we head to the top of the 10th inning, all knotted up at 2.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonials and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Redshirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Top of the 10th inning. Falmouth and Brewster tied up at 2. Daniel LaRose, David Korsanowski here in the broadcast booth at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts. We are staring a potential walk-off in back-to-back weeks at the Gov. This would be impressive if the Doors could pull it off, but first they need Girard to continue to be Girard.
Yeah, it's in Girard's hands right now to just get it back to the bats. He's got 9-1 and 2 due up, 9-1 and 2 due up for the Commodores in the bottom half of the inning. This is pretty exciting. Don't forget, Danny, the last time we were in a spot like this, we were talking about a possible tie. So this game, if it does end with this same score or a tied score after 10, this will go down as a tie.
Just with the power we've been seeing from Falmouth, it does not seem like a walk-off home run is out of the question. Foul back into the fence off the bat of Marcos Castanon. He's got some power as well. Had that 3-run home run, his only of the season here at Gov Fuller Field, and it was a moonshot. Thomas Girard now in his third inning of work was 1-2-3 in the 8th. In the 9th, walked one, but then worked the other 3 outs very easily. The 0-1 slider down in the dirt. How many home runs in a row, like home runs per game in a row for the Doors is it now? I know they didn't have a home run against Katuitt, and Bourne. But it seems like just about every game they win, they've got a home run in it. Moretto has one today as the 1-1 just misses outside.
Yeah, that's been another sign for the Commodores. When that power has come, that's when they've been successful. And it's really been here as of late.
Girard looking in with that ball balanced behind his backside. Now he comes set, pitching from the stretch with no one on. 2-1, floats just down and away. Another 3-ball count from Girard, something I keep saying it, don't see often. As like you said last inning, seems like just something is a little bit off with Thomas tonight.
And that second ball he had was a lot closer. That was a slider down in the dirt that he wanted to get a swing on from Castanon. But it might be that changeup that's sitting a little bit high.
3-1. Upstairs for ball 4. Castanon walks on 5 pitches. It's the second walk allowed in 2 innings by Thomas Girard. And again, the leadoff man is on for Brewster. This is for the first time since the 7th.
This is not something you want to do, especially with the 9 batter, Danny. He's a guy who was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts today, and now Landry's going to come out and talk to Girard, possibly make a call to the pen.
There is a lefty just getting stretched out in the bullpen right now. Shane Drohan getting ready, but he is nowhere close to being warm, as this will just be a mound meeting with everybody on the infield, talking with pitching coach Mike Landry. Again, keep harping on it, and if this ends in a tie, it would be really anticlimactic. But the last time the Commodores played a game at Gov Fuller Field ended in the bottom of the 10th inning on a solo home run, a walk-off. Final score of that game was 3-2. That was over Eastern foe Harwich. This one 2-2 in the 10th against Eastern foe Brewster. As this mound meeting has taken quite some time, and home plate umpire Ryan Damari is going to break up the powwow. Think buying time to get Drohan ready? I don't know, because Girard, I mean, he just seems a little off, but he still looks sharp.
Yeah, and that's not something Landry does, really. It's not a lot of the mind games on the mound. He just comes out and sticks to business.
Well, business has been dealt with as Landry walks slowly back towards the first base dugout, and so do all the players back to their positions on the infield. Castanon stands on first base thanks to a walk, and it's up to the top of the lineup for Brewster to try to get a run across. This is their last chance. Only 1 extra inning is played on the Cape this summer. Last year, the final year of the rule that they went to the 11th. This year, they changed the rules, and they only play 10 full innings if it needs that many. Duke Ellis is 0 for 4. His .214 batting average on the summer has plummeted. Pickoff move over to first base. I don't think we've seen a pickoff move from Girard because he never lets guys on, but that was a laser.
Yeah, it's quick, and I don't know, he's just so tight with his windup and his delivery. It's not like a long delivery by any stretch. He just gets it to the plate.
First pitch home to Ellis. He shows bunt, pulls it back as the pitch comes inside. 1-0.
Moretto playing in on the grass on the left side. He was thrown out at second base to end the bottom of the 9th inning. He'd stolen a base earlier tonight, but then got a little too greedy, trying to get into scoring position in the 9th.
Another bunt shown. This time he does not pull it back, and Ellis can't get it down. 1-1 goes the count. So Jamie Shevchik, the head coach for Brewster, calling upon his team to play a lot of small ball in this game. We saw the first run that they scored in the first inning. Auerbach scored it thanks to getting on base with a bunt. Now they're trying to put the go-ahead run into scoring position with a sacrifice. The 1-1 pulled back again, 2 balls and a strike. Brewster trying to get back to 500. They've got 3 outs to work with. Here's the pitch. Another ball up high. It's 3-1 as Girard just can't locate right now.
Yeah, this is really uncommon. No walks, 5 strikeouts coming into this outing. He's already issued 2 free passes in danger of a third.
Going to check over on Castanon at first base again. Marcos Castanon not really taking too much of a lead. I think he's just waiting for Ellis to either lay down the bunt or get on base with a walk. 3-1 the count to the big lefty from Texas. Here's the pitch. He gets it down, but it goes foul as Moretto will touch up to keep it that way. Count now full. I'm sure the bunt is off the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking a little bit closer at Girard's statistics, he had been perfect so far this summer in his 3 innings of work. Had not allowed a base runner, had faced none over the minimum.
He did have a couple of blown saves with the Duke Blue Devils this past spring. Despite being so shut down, hiccups here and there very sparingly. Payoff pitch, runner going. It's downstairs for ball 4 anyway. Back-to-back runners reach base to lead off the inning thanks to walks, and Brewster is in business. Shane Drohan still warming up in the pen. We'll see if he's called upon.
Number 29, Brett Auerbach.
Coach is staying put in the dugout for the Doors. Auerbach comes up, and he's definitely going to be bunting here. If you move the runners over in scoring position, even if Auerbach gets out, you have 1 out and runners on second and third. Sac fly would score the leading run.
Auerbach laid down a bunt his first time up, and he got a single out of it. That makes him 1 for 4. Runner on second is Castanon. Runner on first is Ellis. Nobody out here in the 10th in a tie ball game. We'll see if Brewster shows bunt. Moretto playing it on the grass. They do. He pops it up. It's behind home plate, but Nelson couldn't get there in time as that one died very quickly. So nearly a fatal mistake for Brewster, but they get away with 1.
Auerbach knows that coming back in. Third base coach down the line giving the signs. That's Ken Derling.
Moretto not playing too far in. He's still over near the third base bag because, again, what if it goes to the right side and he has to cover? 0-1. Sacrifice shown. It goes up the third base side. This one in no man's land. Moretto with a quick play. Throw on to first. They got him. Claunch stayed on the bag. Cantrell stayed on the bag. Claunch was charging. What a play from Steven Moretto. That one was nearly a beautifully placed bunt for Auerbach. Nearly went 2 for 2 on bunts. But he does get the job done nonetheless.
Yeah, even with the out, he still gets the job done, and that's pretty much a successful at-bat from the 2-hitter. If he gets on base, that's just an extra cushion, I guess, if you want to say it, because he's still got a runner on third base, whether he's on first or not, and less than 2 outs.
Infield has been brought in. On a ground ball, they will be coming home to try to keep it scoreless. Fly ball should score a run. First pitch is outside for a ball. You know Girard is looking for strikeout right here.
Yeah, he just hasn't been able to establish the zone enough to really be reliable for a strikeout right now. 20 balls, 19 strikes for Girard.
Gage Workman has been a big strikeout guy this summer, 27 Ks with one of them coming tonight. He watches a fastball strike at the knees. Pardon me, 2 of them coming tonight, so he's up to 28 strikeouts on the summer. Hitless today, but he has a 4-game hitting streak riding into this final at-bat, trying to make it 5. Has RBIs in 3 of his last 4 and a golden opportunity to continue that. Swings at this one over towards short. Cruz fields it, looks back the runner at third, throw on to first, 6-3 put out, exactly what the doctor ordered for Thomas Gerard.
We have a lost beach towel in the shack.
That is huge. Now all of a sudden you breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. You're still 1 out away.
Now batting the first baseman from Belmont Abbey College, number 20.
But Mason Dodd comes up to the plate, and he was the headache in those first 4 innings. 2 singles, 1 on a ground ball that slipped past Cantrell, and 1 on a bloop fly ball out into left field.
Mason Dodd has been effective for Brewster, as you mentioned. Just trying to be the hero. Righty-lefty matchup. Gerard fires home. Great block by Nelson as that pitch, skipped in the dirt. Dodd from Belmont Abbey College. Native of Augusta, Georgia. That not a D1 school. Thomas Gerard, meanwhile, plays for Duke. That's a team that went to a super regional. It would be incredible to see Dodd get the better of Gerard. But Thomas, after getting a ground ball and a great play made by Trey Cruz as he did everything right, is just looking for any way to get out of this jam and somehow strand these runners in scoring position. 1-1 the count to the left-handed first baseman. Thomas comes set, pitching from the stretch. Here it comes. Just misses, not sure where, maybe a little bit high. Ball settled right down the middle. A lot of the Doors agree that they didn't like that call.
Yeah, some of the bullpen were beside themselves on that call. And it was a big one, too. 2-1 in this situation is a lot different than 1-2.
Oh, yeah. That just feels like miles apart. Here is the 2-1, and it misses outside for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. First base is open. Man on deck is Tyler Gentry. So pick your poison.
I know you're trying to avoid the walk here, but it's not the end of the world if you do. Gentry on deck, 1 for 4. And the leading run is on third, regardless of if first is occupied or not.
This will be pitch 56 from Gerard, by far his longest outing of the summer. Check swing, appeal down towards the second base umpire. No dice, says Rich Gaetani. It is another walk allowed by Thomas Gerard. He's now let up 4 bases on balls, and the bases are loaded yet again.
City of Alabama, number 28, Tyler Gentry.
It's going to be all Gerard right now to face Tyler Gentry. They're sticking with the righty-righty matchup, are the Commodores head coaches. Gentry 1 for 4. First pitch downstairs.
Infield playing their same depth, and here I think you try to go fastball inside, get them a little bit uncomfortable, and then you go to that slider to try to get a swing and 2 strikes. Give yourself some room for that punch-out pitch.
Here's the 1-0. It is the slider on 1-0, but he gets it over the outside part of the plate anyway. 1-1 goes the count to Gentry. Gentry struck out against Thomas Gerard to lead off the 9th inning. But Gerard with more walks than Ks in this outing, which is the first time we've seen that all summer. Here's the pitch. Another one too far outside.
I think the biggest problem with Gerard in this outing was that fastball was missing high.
Yeah.
So the fact that he hasn't been able to establish the fastball means that he has to use this off speed a lot, and it can't find the zone as consistently.
He's fallen behind yet another hitter, down 2-1. Looking in towards Nelson as Gentry just kind of shaking that bat, waiting for the pitch. Now he comes set. Comes home. Breaking ball that is clubbed out into left field. That's going to score a run, if not 2. Coming up, firing is Austin Maisel. The play at the plate, not in time. It's a 2-run double off the bat of Tyler Gentry. Now there's a pickle as Yeah, that's easy. Easy put out as Mason Dodd went too far off the second base bag. Couldn't get into third base in time, and the final out is made in between second and third, but the damage has been done. 2 runs come home on the inning for Brewster on only 1 hit, but 3 walks end up burning Thomas Gerard and the Doors as they trail 4-2 entering the final half inning. We'll be right back on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Last chance for the Commodores in what has gone from a potential walk-off situation to just tie the game situation. They trail 4-2 in the bottom of the 10th inning, so the final half inning for the Doors no matter what. First pitch swinging is Austin Maisel as he pokes one into left center field for a base hit. Maisel gets things off to a great start. It rolls behind the left fielder and in towards the wall as backing it up was Duke Ellis, but an initial mistake made by Jesse Franklin. That's an E7, and Austin Maisel on second base after only 1 pitch.
Austin Maisel's an all-star snub. There you go.
I like it. I agree.
Guy's batting .394 coming into the night and goes 2 for 4. He's been swinging a good bat, great approach. He was really frustrated when Moretto got thrown out at second base. He wanted a chance to possibly get on base, or an extra base hit could have scored the winning run.
He was going to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
He has reached base now 3 times. As you mentioned, 2 hits. Also a drop third strike in the 7th inning. Has not scored a run yet, but he's just an on-base machine. Now it's Hayden Cantrell, who's also an on-base machine, looking to continue his hot stretch that has cooled off a little bit tonight. Sporting an 0 for 3, did reach in the 3rd, but still hitless. He is the tying run at the plate against Fisher. First pitch to Cantrell is taken outside. Batting from the right side for the first time all night. Maisel with a sizable lead off of second base, but Caston on the second baseman, keeping him close. Here's the 1-0. Outside for ball 2.
Fisher right now, again, a guy who pitches to contact, understands that he needs to avoid that in the 10th inning. Maybe a little bit more rattled in a high-pressure situation, extra inning game. His team has the lead. Possibly be the winning pitcher tonight as well.
The 2-0. Big swing and a big miss from Cantrell on an outside fastball. Two-one the count to the leadoff man for the Doors, batting .337 entering tonight. Lofts that one foul. Another good pitch, but he just couldn't line it up.
50-50 numbers have been called, so please head on over to the intern tent to claim your...
Tough night for Cantrell at the plate. He's only reached base once on a hit by pitch in the 3rd. Hasn't made a lot of hard contact either. We've seen some games where he's been held at bay, but has some loud outs. That's not the case tonight.
2-2 the count to Cantrell. Maisel is on second with nobody out. The pitch. Another foul ball on another great one, catching a lot of the zone. Hayden just off.
Fisher's last outing, he went 2 1/3. So not unfamiliar territory from the lefty, who's now working in his third full inning of work. Longest outing of the year in even 3 in a win against Hyannis back on June 17th.
The 2-2, grounded over towards short. Mazel's going to try for third. He is going to get to third base, throw on to first, just in the nick of time. Doug Isham says yes, he got him at first base as Cantrell nearly legged out a hit. He does advance Mazel onto third base, so he's only 90 feet away, but there is one out.
Originally, when I saw that ground ball to the left side, I thought that Workman was going to go back to Hardiman at third to get Mazel. But remember, he made that same play in the 8th inning when Zach DeLoach took third. And he was able to reach safely. Slid in, and the ball squeaked out.
Yeah, so smart by Workman to not try for third. I had a feeling he might, but he probably remembered that as well and decided not to. Scott Landers, the pitching coach, is going to have a meeting of the minds on the mound for Brewster before they approach Blake Dunn. I mean, keep in mind, even if Dunn gets out right here, you still got the heart of the order coming up to the plate. So got to be wary of Zach DeLoach at the plate at all.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when when he represents the potential tying run, as long as, Mazel scores or stays on.
Tyler Fallis is getting loose in the Brewster bullpen right now. And he came in that 12-7 thrashing back about 10 days ago, and he got slapped around a little bit. An inning of work, 3 earned runs. Be interesting to see if he comes out, how he would respond on the same field against the same team in an even bigger situation.
First pitch to Blake Dunn taken outside. Dunn so far, season versus Brewster, he's 1 for 6. Was 0 for 3 on that 12-7 win for the Doors. Had an RBI thanks to a walk. Watches that one miss low. Then his last time out against the Whitecaps went 1 for 3. A walk and 2 Ks. Hasn't had an RBI since July 5th against Chatham. The 1-0. Just off of it and fouls it back. Pardon me, 2-1 now the count to Blake Dunn after the first 2 pitches missed low. Here's the pitch. 3/4 swing, and it's fouled back into the fence. David, I heard that exhale, and it's got to be because that one looked like so juicy. I mean,
it did look juicy when it came out of the hand. It actually was a little bit high, and I think that's what Dunn might have had the same thought process at the plate as he kind of tried to hold up that swing.
Handcuffed him a little bit, and now it's 2-2. The pitch from Fisher. Ground ball towards the left side. This should score a run. Play is going to be at first base. They get Dunn out at first, but he does get an RBI as Mazel comes around to score. Score is now 4-3 in favor of Brewster, but there are 2 outs and nobody on base.
Now batting, the right fielder from Texas A&M, number 9.
So this is the at-bat of the game. Obviously, 2 outs, bottom of the 10th, a 1-run ball game. DeLoach took Fisher, this same pitcher, deep his last time up. A long fly ball out into right center field that went off the bottom of the wall. He thought it was gone, flipped the bat. But now he's got to do some work to keep this game going.
Swings at the first pitch, and he taps it over towards second. Caston fields it on a couple of hops. Throw on to first in plenty of time for out number 3. Falmouth's best player couldn't be the hero tonight as they dropped this ball game through 10 innings by a score of 4-3. It was a pitcher's duel through and through throughout pretty much the entirety of the ball game. But Brewster comes out on top thanks to just a couple of mistakes by Thomas Gerard. He missed the strike zone, and it came back and burned the Doors.
Yeah, 3 innings of work for Gerard, his longest outing of the summer, and the one in which he struggled the most. 1 hit and 2 earned runs. That means that you're putting on runners another way, and it was the walks. 4 of them. That was twice the total of all 3 other Falmouth pitchers tonight. 4 walks to Worcester's 1. Weatherly had none, and Majinski had 1. So a really tough outing for Gerard as he comes in to close and ends up getting some extended relief and gets kind of slapped around a little bit.
So Thomas Gerard gets the loss. Fisher gets the win after working out of that 10th inning, allowing only the 1 run. Let's talk about the starting pitchers because they really, determined the course of this game throughout the most part. Carmen Majinski for Falmouth, 5 innings strong, 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Yet another no decision for Majinski, but pitches well enough to put the Doors in a position to win. Meanwhile, Shamblin does the same thing. No decision, but puts Brewster in a position to win. They ultimately do. He threw 6 innings of work, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 Ks. These two guys just went tit for tat the entire way, and I mean the box score shows it.
Yeah, Majinski had a great outing, and those runs that he gave up were not on hard hit balls like last time. He gave up a 2-run bomb his last time out against Harwich. Tonight, it was bunt singles that got through the gap just barely. A bloop single to left field, and then he hits a couple batters. That was really the tale of Majinski's night. He strikes out another 7. And Shamblin was great. I mean, he was a little wild here and there. I didn't think his stuff was really that overpowering, but he was able to put the Doors down in order, limit consecutive hits, right? Even when Falmouth was getting on base, he was making sure that he was getting out of those jams, allows just the 1 earned run in his best outing of the summer.
So Falmouth, in back-to-back games at Gov Fuller Field, go to extra innings. They go all 10. First one, they got a walk-off home run. This time, they lose by 1. 3-2 win over Harwich last week. 4-3 loss to Brewster this week. I mean, it seems like Falmouth's never out of a game, save for some of those blowouts on the road trip.
Sure.
They are a very competitive ball club with just about everybody.
No question about it, and they moved to 13-11-1. They're pretty firmly cemented in that 3rd spot in the West right now, but we highlighted on it a little bit earlier, some dates against Wareham and Katuitt this week. A chance if they take 2 or 3 of those against the Gatemen, they could move up to 1st.
Unfortunately for Falmouth, Wareham and Katuitt just keep winning ball games. Seems like whenever Falmouth wins, those two teams win also. Whenever Falmouth loses, one of those two wins as well. Wareham at 33 points now, Katuitt at 30, Falmouth sitting at 27. The Whitecaps improved to 500 as they're still in a playoff spot in the East. Both these teams pretty evenly matched, and Falmouth will be back out at YD. Their final time at Red Wilson Field to play the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. That first pitch coming up at 5 p.m. Be sure to tune in to the pregame show at 4:50 right here on YouTube Live. So that'll do it here in Falmouth, Massachusetts. The Doors drop this one to the Whitecaps by a score of 4-3 in 10 innings. For my broadcast partner, David Korzanowski, for my producer, Tony Bianco, our sideline reporter, Katie Florio, I'm Daniel LaRose saying so long from the Gov. 4-3 your final. We'll be back in action tomorrow at YD.